Okay, that's me live. That is me live, boys. You don't need to sit quiet or nothing. Guys and dolls, Freedomdad here. And yeah, hope you're all good. We're just back in from a wee night patrol down at the Bangor seafront. I'm getting some neat. Getting a frill. Not always get some neat, you know what I mean? But
don't be winding me up. Nah, don't be winding me up.
Not always get some neat, you know. But say no more about that. Freedomdad and chat. Big boost, boom. Gary Belfast. All right, mate. Yeah, I got Freddie here.
Irish bread's here.
And Irish bread's here. Irish bread, Ulster born. Ulster born Irish bread. Never fucking get it right, mate.
Irish bread, Ulster reared.
Ulster.
See, there's always something in there.
Yeah, so the main man himself, he's doing really well on TikTok. TikTok's doing really well. He's hitting 10,000 and he's only been at it. Northern Ireland disgruntled. When I seen the car parked in the car park, I had the family out with me, so went for ice cream.
Oh, we were watching the car.
We were over at the thingy.
I had the Wi-Fi.
Stephen.
Over the chippy.
Yeah, we were over at the chippy sitting watching. Hello, Alan.
What's that, man?
Chris went to live in Birmingham, but wear a Linfield. Live in Birmingham, but wear a Linfield shirt. Good, mate. Good. So I like to see. We're all blue, man. Nice top frame, Dad. You're gonna have the Bears top on next. I don't have enough time to support too many. Linfield's always been my team. I was born right next to Windsor Park, guys. You know what I mean? In South Belfast, so Linfield's always my true love. You know what I mean? You know, it's just too expensive to be supporting any more than one team these days, you know what I mean? Cheers for that, Dirk Kafir. They had us, why he's Matt from Florida. So yeah, Irish Bread will be putting the TikToks up soon. So, you know, I've told you about the TikTok he's got. And some amazing stuff going up. Richard and Kong, all two banger. And trying to get more out. Yes, and I'm waiting for any of my moderators in. Because this is how you mention it, because I keep forgetting, guys. I really need you, if you haven't seen it, I need you to go to Richard Inman's channel and check out the video he's done in Ballymena. 100 hours work he's put into it, so definitely get it out. I have not stopped. I want to get a wee look at it and maybe take a couple of wee clips from it and do a wee promotion, you know what I mean, just to get it out there a bit more and get it on Facebook and all that. Because like, if somebody's putting in that much effort to do these videos, we have to give it we have to support them. Gary Belfast, all right, Irish Bread and Freddie.
All right.
How goes it?
All good, buddy, all good.
Noel, yes. How you doing, Noel? Oh, sure, check. 75. All right to share, Freedomdad. Share whatever you need to share. You do what you need to do. I've seen... We had 2 seconds. John Rankin, see you in 20 minutes. If you're still on, I'll still be on. I've seen... the documentary, good watch, yeah. So if anybody can throw the link of the documentary up so everybody else can click on it. Well done today with that reporter, you grilled him. Yeah, that was yesterday, but yeah, he got grilled. Had a couple of drinks last night. Hey, Dad, here in America, I'm wondering about all those camps I see everywhere in the countryside. They're concerning. They're fucking concerning for us. You're in America, you know what I mean? Don't think how we feel, you know. But yeah, it's not easy. So it is. It is difficult. It is difficult, you know what I mean? We spoke to a guy the day and, you know, hey, guys, down there. You can answer, take it away. Yeah, and it's, what's Richard's channel called? Richard Inman or Counter Media. So it's on one of them ones, wee bit. If you can get share the link onto here so the guys can see it. Supreme Court announced Lucy Connolly's release. Yes, she should be out soon. So looking forward to that. Just waiting for my coffee.
Don't buy no fucking cups.
What?
I thought there was 2 cups there.
Tea? Pinky, you want a cup of tea, coffee?
Alright, man, I'll take a tea, please.
Yep, you should just do.
I know, I'll do it now. We'll just
There'll be one up the stairs.
I know, I'll just have a look at it.
We'll be coming to... We'll be coming to all the protests as soon as I get my driving licence back in October. Good luck with that, mate. Hello, Debs. How you doing? We had Counter Media. I seen it on. So Counter Media. If you go to Counter Media and you know, yep, there you go, guys. Wee Bit Bunkers just put the link up. So what to do is just go on right now, click that link, go onto the video, and bookmark it. So then you can watch it whenever you want. You'll always be able to find it. I think that's it. Thank you, Fred, for the Buy Me a Coffee link. Boys next to me here. So yeah, Chimney Corner was a success. You know, there's a couple of other videos I'm gonna put up, shorter ones, other interactions with the police. You know what I mean? Have Northern Ireland got protest planned for next Friday? I know England have set up national protests on Friday. Well, we've got the Bangor protest every Friday. I wasn't well last week, missed it. But yeah, every Friday the Marina Court Hotel in Bangor.
Got 10 Square this weekend.
10
I'm
Square.
nearly 100% sure it's this weekend.
What's 10 Square?
The head office of Chimney Corner and the hotels.
Oh yeah. There's so I'll keep you all up to date with what's coming. We've got I've got an interview coming tomorrow. I'm not going to say anything about it because it's a wee bit very controversial, and but we're going to go ahead with it, and we're going to deal with what needs to be dealt with. You know what I mean? And that will be getting done tomorrow. It won't be live, but it'll be getting put together in the video to bring awareness. You know, so that'll be coming tomorrow. 10 Square, Wade Graham says. Yeah. So that's next weekend. Yeah.
Think so.
We think so.
Ask Stevie to confirm.
Stevie, if you're there, mate, confirm, will you, mate? Northern Ireland Disgruntled one. This Saturday is 10 Square. Okay.
Yeah, I thought
Yep.
so. I thought
Wade
it was
Graham.
right. Just had to
Wade.
check it.
Yeah, I believe. Listen to Wade, like.
Yeah, Stevie done a video this morning.
Right to be right. Tell Fred I take 2 sugars.
You're not getting my sugars.
Protests banned outside Canary Wharf Hotel.
Yes, mate.
Next
2 and
Saturday.
1 for luck.
Cheers, Stevie. Northern Ireland Disgruntled one.
Aye.
Next Saturday.
Sometimes you feel embarrassed to say 3, so it's 2 and 1 for luck.
That's too much sugar, mate.
You remember I run the streets every night.
You need the energy, eh? Yeah, he does. They're out patrolling every night, and there's guys in Portadown doing it. There's guys everywhere doing it, and number 10 Donegal Square South, 10 Square, number 10 Donegal Square
Yeah,
South.
that's right. Yep.
Right. Well, we need to get flyer out, Stevie. I need something that we can put out, mate.
It's in a week. It's going to be too short for flyers, mate.
All right, John. Good to see you, mate. I think it's absolutely brilliant that you are bringing awareness to this government. Don't seem to be interested in what the people think or want. Well, this is the thing, you know what I mean? We are trying to do stuff that the mainstream media aren't touching. And in some cases, they just wouldn't be able to do it. You know what I mean? It's like some of our areas are inaccessible to mainstream media, BBC News or anybody like that. They wouldn't just be able to come in our areas. Some areas, you know what I mean? So it can only be people like us that can, you know, maybe get away with a wee bit more than what most can get away with, because we are citizen journalists. We do have support from many parts of Belfast, Northern Ireland, Londonderry, Portadown, in Armagh, the works, you know what I mean? And they support what we're doing, you know what I mean? That's clear. You can. That's just clear with the man sitting right next to me. How long's that TikTok been going, mate?
Not too long, a month, I would say.
Yeah, less than a month. Less than a
Yeah,
month, and
less than a month.
he's flying 8,000 followers. That's a lot of followers, like, guys. And the more he gets, the more it'll go up, the more reach it'll have.
Yeah, the more people will be able to get in, the more of the areas will be able to knock out. You know, East Belfast is a big area. Plus, we're venturing into East Belfast city centre. There'll be people walking out of Belfast city centre. So it's a big, big area we're doing.
AliExpress, you can use welcome deal to get a Grensian UV5 or a Biofin UV5 Rito for less than tenner. You see, I don't know if it would work over here. You know what I mean? And I don't even know if it's legal, to be honest with you. You know what I mean? So, yeah, everywhere's different, guys. Every part of Britain is different. You know, with the laws and stuff like that. I learned that lesson. It cost me 18 years when I went to Scotland. I learned that lesson that we're all different. All different. Thanks, bro.
Thank you.
You not get a cup?
There's no cups.
That's what I was saying. I'm going to get you a cup. Take that because I want coffee. 2 seconds, guys. Do you want to sit and moan?
Yes, I'll sit and moan for a while. What's happening, guys?
Do you enjoy the patrolling around Bangor, brother?
Oh, I.
Good.
Oh, I.
One homeless.
Yep. How's it going, wee bit, bunkers? Good to see you. Hey, Debs. How's it going? Couldn't find a cup for him for coffee. How's it going, guy? All good, mate? See, they're celebrating diversity in West Belfast at their festival. Didn't know that.
Multicultural.
Aye. Multicultural. That's it. What up, Laura? Haven't seen you on a few nights now. Yes, they were working on public use frequency. Good man, Gary. Oh, he's getting his coffee now. How's it going, Foxy lad? Yes, mate, yes. I know who you are. Know who you are, mate. Cheers, mate. Always good to see people turning up to protest. Hello, boy. Hello, boy. You want your throne back now?
Yes, please.
Oh, I got some more sugar
boy.
for myself.
So yeah, guys, just a wee rundown on everything. Chimney Corner went really well yesterday. Peaceful, you know, road got blocked off by the police. You know, let's make that clear. It wasn't the public, it wasn't the concerned parents. We are kind of doing patrols around Woodville. It's fucking mind blowing, and to be honest, starting to piss us off. We are volunteering our own time after midnight nuts. Listen, Wade. Got to question anybody that's against what you're doing, you know what I mean? And probably going to be covering a lot about this tomorrow, to be honest with you guys. There's a lot of things that aren't right still. I think I'm in trouble with the missus. I ate the black wine gums. Freedomdad, have you seen the latest from British Stand and the McSweeney family, north and south? I haven't, but I will have a wee look. Sure, you were poorly. I said to Stevie, we three crashed at the same time. Weird. Yeah, look, Laura. Yeah, we were, everybody, like Freddie still, like, no, we were having to take limp-sips today, you know what I mean? So anyway, I just want to run all this through, you know what I mean? So basically, I couldn't be more happier with the way things are going in Northern Ireland. I couldn't be more happier the amount of work people are putting in from all over, like you see with Wade and East Belfast boys. You've got the Woodfield, Shankill, South Belfast, you've got Portadown, you've got Ballymena. All these places are starting to get men and women out on the streets at night time, watching their parks, watching nightclubbers getting out, any school, any dance groups or dance classes where kids are involved. They're there to make sure everybody gets into the cars, gets on the buses. There's no stragglers, and that's absolutely brilliant. You know, that is absolutely brilliant because, you know, we know that the police, you know, there's not a lot they can do, and it's not about us catching people. It's about the guys preventing anything happening. If these guys are out all the time, these guys will not. You know, and I know in a way it might push them into another area or it might push them into some other park in some other part of Belfast. but that's down to each individual area. You know, all we can do is protect each area. You know what I mean? And you know,
All staying put up in Bangor town, Bangor past and present.
all right, right. But see, like the Irish bread there, you know what I mean? It's like, so they're out every night now, like squatting them, and now the police are watching them. You know what I mean? So it's like a double whammy for them. It's perfect. You know what I mean? Because they've got the police patrolling exactly where they need to be patrolling. You know, and you know, they're not just walking about anywhere. There's certain places that they're targeting that they know will be vulnerable for women and children. You know what I mean? And that's it. It takes local guys with local knowledge in each area to do this. You know, so I think it's amazing. I think the Patriots are. There's been a few ups and downs with Patriots, but that's all gelling out and ironing itself out. You know what I mean? And we've even got Stevie in a suit now. You know what I mean? Don't know where that came from, Stevie, like, but well, good on you, man. It wouldn't be me, you know what I mean?
Take a stand. He has to take a stand.
You know, the only time I wear suit mates in court. You know what I mean?
Get a good belt, the fucking whole trailer up there.
Yeah, you looked a bit like 007, so you did, Stevie.
Double weight.
Shaking that stirred, eh, my old champ, China. Shaking with that stirred. But Bangor Past and Present barred me on their page. Yeah. Okay. Hey, Freedom Dad, good to see you yesterday at Chimney Corner. Good to see you too, Foxy lad. You know what I mean? I just want to say thank you to everybody as well that ever hands me any money and stuff like that. I just want to say thank you so much for any help at all. It went straight in the fuel. And obviously anything I get like that, my cameraman, I split it with my cameraman, and you know what I mean. If you know if it was 30 or 40 quid, we just split right down the middle. Any amount of money, you know what I mean. And it's always nice for somebody to come up and go, here, there's fuel, you know what I mean? Because I don't get any other income. I'm not on social benefits. You know, I don't have any income whatsoever. And for those about saying about getting jobs and all that, Freedom Dad can't get a job. Freedom Dad just can't go out there and start working anywhere. It's hard enough just walking about the place, you know what I mean, outside of my own areas without being recognised by the wrong people, you know what I mean? And that can go wrong very quickly. And it's not just about Protestants and Catholics. As you know, there's been a wee bit of hate coming from the Republican movement, the INLA, the IRA. And, you know, I know that my face is all over all their sites, along with Freddie's now, probably. You know what I mean? And, yeah, so we have to be very careful, you know what I mean? You know, I've worked all my days. I've done a lot of work everywhere and all sorts of stuff, bricklaying and painting and decorating. I've done a city in Guilds and painting and decorating when I was younger. And yeah, I'm quite handy, you know, but getting an actual full-time job means being at the same place every day. And you know, it's Northern Ireland. We don't have routine in Northern Ireland. It's as simple as that. But any help that you can get, you know, obviously the social benefit things, you know what I mean? Even if I'm entitled to it, I'm not. It's just what happens when you do this kind of thing. You know, Sarah, she's what Sarah had put in the door, Freddie.
Was it?
In the last few weeks, what Sarah had, all sorts of fines and stuff, and like she says, she's never seen anything like this. She says, and this is what happens to us. People think that I'm telling you, they target us in all different ways. They make life difficult. If they know you've got a driver, they'll do everything they can. She's been done for speeding when she wasn't speeding. She's had to pay that. You know what I mean? And what else was there?
It was just all car parks, no?
Parking, going through a toll from Ireland, which we paid. You can't get through a toll without paying it, and now she's getting thingied for that as well. You know, you put the money in, and the toll lifts up, and away you go. You know what I mean? And it's like, it's no rocket science. It's only a couple of quid. You know what I mean? So yeah, a couple of little things that are very, very strange. You know what I mean? But that's the world of patriots. You know what I mean? When our biggest enemy isn't just like hope not hate and end racism and all the trade unionists. Our biggest enemy is the government. They're the most powerful. They can do everything and anything to us, you know, and they can affect people around us as well. I'm looking forward to seeing them. Freedom Dad, you end up out last night for a drink? No, I didn't actually. No, we're going to, and then we just sat in the house and had a couple. You know what I mean? Pretty much behaved, you know, so just friends, you know, and yeah, it was nice, just nice, because I don't drink much, as you know, and like, you know, it's, yeah, it was, I was invited for a wee drink, and I thought, why not? You know, it's not costing me anything. I'm up for it. Seeing if there's anything we should be looking for. Have a look at that again. Sorry. Anything we should be looking for? The Irish National Liberation Army here. Your life is not in danger. Your enemy is the British establishment. Yeah, John, well, you know, thanks for that, like, but, you know, I need a wee bit more encouragement than that. You know, for fuck's sake. You know, this is not around. Everything's all right, Freedom Dad. Nobody's, NLA aren't wanting to kill you.
What's it
You know?
doing, John?
Okay, let's go to the falls. Come on, boys. Yeah, okay, things will change. I know things will change. Things, you know, with all the work everybody's doing, you know what I mean? Catholics. Ibis and Holiday Inn, University Street, Belfast last protest outside it a year ago. The Catholics from Lower Ormo chased the protesters away. All the hotels need protests. Why pick the easy hotels? It's down to each area, you know what I mean? It's like if there's a protest, I'll be there. I'll be there documenting it. If you've got a protest organised, we will be there. The citizens journalists, the YouTubers, the TikToks will be there. You know what I mean? We don't pick any hotels. We just go to where they are. If there's an advert put up on Facebook or TikTok and Chimney Corner, 2 p.m. Saturday, boom, we're there. That's it. You know, we don't make protests up. We're not part of that. We're citizen journalists, and we're patriots. We're right wing citizen journalists, and that's very important because, you know. And a lot of people say, well, if you're a journalist, you should be biased and all this, and you should be impartial. No. That's the nonsense the Sky News, BBC News, mainstream media feed you. We're citizen journalists. We report from our streets. We tell you what's happening in our streets. We go out and interview people from our streets. You know what I mean? And each area should have their own citizen journalist staying on top of all that. And yeah, that's the bottom line is, guys, it's we're right wing. We're not impartial. We are right wing. We want family. We want our religion. We want people to be safe. We want communities. We want our doors to be left open. We don't have to worry about our kids coming in and not worrying about them playing in the parks. We want it all to stay the way it is. We want people to have more children. We want to grow our population by encouraging more people to have children. And most of all, you know, it's social care. We want the right people looking after our old people in our nursing homes. We want locals looking after our old people, and yeah, you know, that's who we are. That's what right wing is. We're all about community and traditions, cultures, and our own people. You know, and we put our own people first. You know what I mean? And it's very important. You know, because if we don't put our own people first, nobody else is putting them first. You know what I mean? It's not like the government's putting their own people first. Not like the police are putting their own people first. They're lifting people left, right and centre for going to protest.
Any word about the crime stall? Will they do it again?
Yeah.
They're chasing her from map to map, like, or from town to town. So I heard him say he went from Dublin to Waterford. He was in Waterford, he was in Dublin.
And they were in Lisburn as well, so they were.
Yeah, Dublin, Belfast, Lisburn. They're moving about. And I think once they do this one tour, they'll be gone again. Yeah, whether or not they'll be back in Belfast, we don't know, you know what I mean? But yeah, people are keeping an eye on it. And it is one of, this is how serious Northern Ireland is. You know, one of these things, I don't know if you've seen the videos that this guy done, slating us, slabbering about us, calling us not nice people and all that, and racists and all that, you know what I mean? We're not racist, you know, we just don't, we're not keen on the ideology of Islam coming into our streets and into our schools and all that, you know what I mean? That's all it is, you know what I mean? Like, we spoke to a boy the night, so we did in Bangor, an Afghanistani boy, and had a good chat with him about where he was from, why he was here and stuff like that, you know what I mean? And if, you know, asked him what religion he was, you know, are you Sunni, Shia, you know, Wahhabi, Druze, Kurd, you know what I mean? And I think he was quite taken aback that we were quite knowledgeable, you know what I mean? And it was good just to ask him, because he was a nice enough guy. You know, it was one of them interactions, he was nice enough, and everything was nice and calm and relaxed, and he was just, you know, something happened Was it a month ago?
And then about a month ago at Marine Court,
At Marine Court, he
on
came.
Friday night.
Yeah, so he came across with a mask on, covered right up, and went up an alleyway. And a couple of boys went up the alleyway, and I'm like, "What are you up to? Why are you wearing a mask? You know what I mean? You look very suspicious." So he was spotted again the night, and he recognised one of the boys, and he was like, "Oh, how you doing?" And he was like, so we got into a conversation about where he's from. You know, where he was born in England. He's second generation Afghanistani. Yeah, he ended up in Birmingham, but I think he was born in maybe London. Yeah, London. He was born in London, ended up in Birmingham, and he's found himself in Bangor, you know. And what he said to us was like, "Oh, like Bangor's okay, and Belfast not so okay." You know, he was like quite scared of Belfast. Eh, that's to be honest with you, that'll suit a lot of guys. Like, to be honest with you, like.
He'd probably knife you without a second thought.
Well, he already told us he had been knifed.
He'd been knifed,
Yeah. So we had a chat about Islam. We talked about the Quran. This isn't Bangor yet. And I asked him why Northern Ireland, you know, because we explained the Protestant and Catholic, because he was interested in all that, you know what I mean? Didn't really understand it, but he sort of was trying to show a bit of interest. And, you know, I just asked him, like, you know...
You could see that he was trying to understand what was going on.
Yeah, because he is a Muslim, a practicing Muslim, you know.
Coming over in the boats.
He's Sunni, you know, so, you know, quite a serious part of the Muslim religion is Sunni. And I just said to him, like, you know, there's 55 countries around the world that are Muslim. Why Northern Ireland, you know? And, you know, it doesn't make any sense to me, you know what I mean? It's like, and I said to him as well about, you know, because we were talking about, like, we're just journalists. But I was telling them what the feeling is, you know what I mean? And I was saying to him, like, a lot of people are scared of a Birmingham or a Luton or a Rotherham or a Rochdale or a Halifax ending up here, you know what I mean? And that scares people, you know what I mean? But he seemed to agree with everything. Like, he wasn't stupid. He did say that there's a lot of men coming into this country that's making everything worse for them, you know. So and I agree with that, you know what I mean? Because he was a pleasant young man. There was, you know, he wasn't like full beard and all that. Well spoken and that. He had a Brummie accent, you know what I mean? You could tell the roughness where he's probably speaking English and Afghanistani, but then you can tell the roughness. But you know, I heard the Birmingham accent, you know.
100%.
Yeah, I've done jail in Birmingham, you know what I mean? So, yeah. But yeah, it was a good interaction. It's always good to talk and find out from these guys' point of views and understanding and all a bit better, because you always learn something. We didn't interact. We didn't video. We don't video everything. You know what I mean? We try and be fair and with people, and we don't want to just stick people hammers into people's faces. You know what I mean? We were having an honest.
Deb says, but why did he come here?
Huh?
Deb says, but why did he come here?
What was the answer?
He didn't give us one.
He didn't give us one,
said
you know.
He was just trying to have a better life.
Yeah, just trying to have a better life, you know what I mean? But you've got to ask yourself, if you're in London, you're in Birmingham, then you end up in Bangor, you know, something's going on to move about like that, you know what I mean?
Well, you've only been here a year.
But somebody says, nice until they have the numbers.
You know.
You did say that too.
Yeah, I did say that, like, to be honest with you. I says, you know.
He didn't answer, he deflected it, like,
yeah.
You were standing there with three men, like, you know.
Yeah.
He didn't answer it truthfully.
No, he didn't, like, but I want, yeah.
He was speaking like a politician, like,
yeah.
He was watching everything.
They know exactly what to say, that's what I say, you know,
yeah.
Even whenever I interact with them in the street, they either talk to you like you're stupid, and they think you're just going to take it until you go, whoa, hold on here and challenge it. And whoa, and then you go, why'd you say that like that?
Yeah.
You take me for being stupid.
Yeah.
That's the way you speak to us, for stupid. Other than that, you get them ones that speak to you like a politician.
Yeah.
They're far from stupid. They know exactly what
because he was saying, like, oh, I'm no problems, we're no problems, we're not, like, and all the rest of it. And I goes, but yeah, that's at the moment. If there's an hour 10,000 you end up here, then your attitude will probably change. At the minute, standing here on your own in front of three Belfast boys, you know, yeah, it's all nicey and smiles and all the rest of it, like, but if there was 1,000 of them, it'd probably be a different story, you know what I mean? And that's just the nature of the beast, guys. There's nothing racist or far right about this. This is just the nature of the beast, you know? And we've seen it time and time again. And that's how they've done it in England. That's how they've been able to come in. They come in all nice and sweety and all smiles, and we're not here to cause problems. We're just looking for an easy life. And yes, I'm Muslim and all that, but you don't need to worry about that. You know what I mean? And then 3-4 years down the line, before you know it, churches are getting turned into mosques, and they're demanding dogs to be stopped walking in our local parks. And you know the rest. You know, our animals being slaughtered in the most horrific way, and you're finding women having to cover up and stuff like that, and people in their own religion. You know what I mean? And for us to see women like that, we don't agree with that. No woman should be forced to cover up. And I don't care what you say about it's their choice, it's their religion. I don't believe that. I don't think there's any woman in the world, any beautiful woman in the world would want to put a hijab on, you know, especially a burqa. You know what I mean? Come on. That's not right in any levels, you know what I mean? A lot of people say it's because the women don't want any attention. Give me a boy. The women don't want any attention.
I also know a man who works undercover as an agent, like 6 months a year, and he dresses as a woman undercover.
Right, hold on. Stuart Brown, disappointed in that Linfield rag you have on Freedomdad. A Glentoran top would be better. Yeah, I'm not too keen in Glentoran. I'm sure there was a Glentoran player at a Republican walk not so long ago. You know, you remember that?
Well, I'm a Glentoran man here. He's Belfast, born and bred.
Yeah, he's a Glen man.
He's Belfast,
Because
born and
South
bred.
Belfast and East Belfast, two blue men and a Glen man.
Yeah, and I still stand strong with the two of them.
Yeah. We'll see you at the next derby. Right wing is a label given to us by the people who say there is freedom of speech as long as we, the people, agree with them. No, right wing is just right wing. It's the far right bit that they try to throw at us. No, he's just wanting to tulip. They're like, that dog's a hornball. I'm like, no, it's just boy, and I'm looking around tulips like that. Fuck's sake. That dog's a fucking hornball. I know it's a bitch. That's a bitch, and that's her granddad. Ground control, ha ha ha, FTG. Hey, come on, I'm from the east. Yeah, I know, Stuarty, we know. We've gathered that much.
Cruise.
Freedomdad, I love this Lucy t-shirt. Thank you, Laura. Yep.
The cruise. You started a football thing here now. Football debate.
I sent Freedomdad a man dressed head to toe in a burqa. I've seen a couple of videos where people have been ripping burqas off, guys, you know what I mean? They're like dressed as women, you know, trying to move about as a woman.
The best thing to come out of East Belfast was the Linfield bus.
Very good. Very good.
Well said, Gary.
Bradford Loyal is in the house. How you doing, mate? Right to be right. Getting Gloria a burqa. I told him I had a crush on Gloria Hunniford, mate. You know what I mean? This is back in the day when she was younger. You know what I mean? I was only a kid.
With terrible taste, it seems.
Gloria Hunniford was a beautiful looking woman in her day.
That must have been before my day.
Aye. Well, I am 10 years older than you. You know what I mean? I've got 10 years on you.
What must have been before my day?
Swear to God, right? I'm the oldest in this room by far, and I look the youngest. I really do. Like, if anybody was walking here now and go, who's the youngest? They would go, him or her.
You liar.
Yep, down you guys.
That's because you stole my shears.
I shaved my beard.
Right, guys. Come on. Here you go. That's fucking. Come on, guys.
Pastor Jim McConnell's sermon on Islam. Have you watched Pastor Jim McConnell's sermon on Islam?
Oh, he's brilliant.
Yeah.
He's brilliant.
I've cut bits yet, like, you know what I
Sure,
mean?
he was fucking
Somewhere.
ridiculed. He was ridiculed for it too.
Jimmy.
Let me just.
But it seems he was all right. Not far right.
Yeah. East Ender living in Donegal in the Northern Ireland, becoming a lifeboat to England. Freedomdad, where are these immigrants going to live after the hotels? I don't want them living in the same Street is me
They're
and my
getting houses quicker than what they're getting the hotels.
yeah, it is very concerning, guys. It really is. Like, you know, have you seen the video
Start building
of them
houses
coming
now.
off the bus
Looks like-
at the big hotel in London? Is that a hotel in London, that one?
I was at
Have you seen that?
Canary Wharf.
Yeah.
Them guys, that's military. You know what I mean?
20
It
past 3 in the
reminds me of a
morning.
lot of prisoners. Because that was the way, like, in the jails in Scotland, it's
Like
all
10
like
o'clock in the
grey
morning or
jumpers,
something?
grey trackies. Depending on what wing you're on or landing, you
Many,
could have
the many vans and many buses I've seen.
Yeah.
At
And
night time.
they were all dressed in the
all
same,
dressed in
yeah.
grey, all
And
had
all carrying the same flipping bit of paperwork under their arm.
had a wee folder under their arms, all coming off the
With a brown
bus.
envelope.
Yeah.
That's identity, mate. Wow.
They all look strong, healthy, strapping young men. They don't look like they need refuge. They don't look like they need fed. They don't look like they need any help at all. And I'm not just saying that. You know, some people, these were fighting men. These were strong. Some of these men, they were walking tall, swaggering off the bus. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they look like soldiers.
Soldiers, yeah, 100%. I don't care what anybody says. A lot of people are saying that now. You know what I mean? They're here to police us. They're Stormer's army.
Well, that's how it goes.
New World Order army. Yeah, they'll struggle here. Like, my wee street here in Bloomfield, East Belfast, is probably half African now.
Yep, that's true. That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm firm off for it too. I don't even live there, but I live by it.
What was in the envelopes they had? Probably new identification. They probably had a new name, date of birth, and
What they're there to claim.
national insurance, and everything that they need to start off all their claims and get everything that they want.
Business grants and
Doctors, all the rest of it, dentist.
the works.
Harryville. All under the cover. I know, all under the cover of darkness. 2:30 in the morning.
Listen, I'm out every night in the many buses with trailers that I see.
Yeah.
That the ones they're reporting down.
Yeah,
in
yeah,
Dublin,
yeah,
putting
yeah.
Up at houses with people. I'm seeing them at night time.
Yeah.
One of them being followed by the police, and we tried to follow them, and the police seen us following them, and they let the van go through a red light, and then they slowed down, so I had to slow down behind them. Once the light went red, they drove through the red light, and we were caught at it.
Yeah.
By the time we got up on
Yeah,
the
they were
motorway,
gone.
Uh-huh.
They knew what they were doing. They seen us following.
Yeah, so you know, like I say, guys, it's going to be really difficult. This is why we're trying to stop it before it starts. Because look at the situation in England. You've got politicians saying there's nothing they can do. You've got the king bound down to Islam because he's terrified, and that's the truth. The king knows what's coming. He knows in 30 or 40 years' time it's going to be a majority, and that's coming from the news. This is 110%. This is, I've been saying this for a long time, and I know I always says it's just Freedomdad, but like everything I'm saying has come to fruition. Everything that I've said in my videos, you guys have been here from the start, is all coming to fruition, and there's no two ways about it. England is irreversible. You know, remigration is what Britain First are shouting, and UKIP, but you know, they're not even getting any airtime on TV, guys. You know what I mean? And Tommy's come out and went with Rupert, so that's a big chunk, you know, that probably would have went to UKIP and Reform, that will now go there because of Tommy. I mean, I don't know why. I don't know what's wrong. What's up? What is it?
No, it's only people need to get out and vote when the
There's
next
nobody
election
out to vote
comes.
At the minute.
It's the only way to make a change,
Is what?
is to get out and vote in the next election.
Yeah, I know. But who do you vote for? Who do you vote for? I'm telling you now, and I've been telling you this for a long time, there's going to be a general election very shortly. As soon as Tommy Robinson came out and rallied the troops to get behind Rupert Lowe, I was like, at myself, that's the trigger. That's going to trigger a general election because they do not want anybody else to be there apart from Reform. Reform are unstoppable right now. There's nobody else the right wing are going to vote for. You know, if there's an election in the next year, Rupert Lowe is never going to get a political party up and going in a year. There's no way they would be ready to get seats in Parliament and all the rest of it and get councillors all over England. It's impossible, you know. So it would take maybe 2, maybe 3 years maximum to get a really strong political party that would be up against Reform, for people on the right wing of politics who want remigration, could vote for. You know what I mean? And the government know this, so they need reform in because they need that another 4 years. It's not when I talk about the government, I'm talking about the establishment who run the government. They want reform in. That's their new Labour. You know, we know who the reforms kicked out. Everybody supported Tommy Robinson. Everybody that was against LGBTQ. Everything that we're fighting for reform are saying that there's no fight. You know, they're saying it's impossible to deport 1 million people, you know, and if we don't take Islam with us, we're in trouble, you know what I mean? And that's reform. That's the leader of, that's his words, not my words. This is what he's telling you, and nobody seems to be hearing it for some reason. If you want to watch the Winston Marshall, just put on the Winston Marshall Farad's interview and just listen to it very carefully. And that's all you need to know about reform. You don't need to watch, there's other interviews, you know what I mean? But that's one of the key ones where he says too much. You know, that's when the cat was out of the bag, you know what I mean? Who would you vote for, Nornell, guys?
Nobody at the minute.
No.
Nobody at the minute.
Yeah.
I
Nobody.
haven't voted in the last 5 years.
Yeah, it's difficult right now, guys. It really is. The main one we've got is the DUP. That is the only one I can see at the minute, and you know, that's not very impressive. You know what I mean? To be honest with you, don't really have much faith in that. Like,
Right, well, I'm going to go down here, lads.
All right,
I
bro.
have to meet the crew here soon. So.
No problem.
No, big one.
need the toilet or anything?
No, bro, I'm alright. Right, good, bro.
Come on.
Yep. See you later, Chief.
Yes. Up with Peter
We're
easy.
in the streets in an hour.
Right.
Mark, someone watching you, the quiet one from the Craigie, give him a shout out.
All right, Mark from the Craigie,
The quiet
the
man.
quiet man. How you doing, son?
The quiet man, the quiet man.
Freedomdad, why do you think that it's always big towns like Ballymena or Portadown who has to demonstrate our feelings and not Belfast?
Belfast goes.
Yeah, I don't really know what that means. It's wherever there's a reason to protest, people will protest. If something bad happens to any kids in a certain area, then it's going to explode in that area. You know, it's as simple as that. It's not a competition. You know what I mean? We don't want to be out there fucking protesting. We don't want to be out there ratting. And we nobody does, but we know what way this goes, you know what I mean? People in Northern Ireland know exactly, the people in the streets are talking about it, everybody knows what's coming and how it's, what needs to be done, you know what I mean? That's a frightening thing.
Speak to you soon.
Alright, bro. Yeah. Let me know you get
Yes.
up the road, alright? I vote for the wife. You don't mess with a Donegal woman. I vote for the wife. Yeah. She must be watching or sitting next to you. All good, my man. The quiet man. Keep all the good work, my friend, and also Freddie. Thank you, bro. Thank you so much for that. Public on the streets on a massive scale will send a message. Enoch Powell was right, but if you post that, you'll get arrested. Well, you know, I don't think so anymore, you know what I mean, to be honest with you. I see a lot of that now. I see it maybe every day, a post or something about Enoch Powell being right. So, yeah. John Rankin, hello. How you doing, bro? Hope you're good. Good to see you back in. Good. We're looking forward to seeing you come back over soon. You can go out on a night patrol so you can.
Oh, jeez.
With the boys in the east, if you want. Quite sure the Woodville boys would take you out. But yeah, like I say, guys, it's not men jumping about ready to do people, you know what I mean? It's nothing like that. It's just men and women going out really late at night, walking their dogs, having a chat with people who are hanging about. You know, simple as that. Just communicating with people, talking to people, you know, talking to the homeless ones. And one of the good things is, what do you do between the time while reform gain momentum? What do you do between the time while reform gain momentum? We pray. That's what we do. You know, I think it will get worse with reform, and reform are aware that they need Islam and Muslims and foreigners and all the rest of it are there's so many now that politicians have got no choice but to be inclusive because they need their vote, you know. Hello, Freedom Dad. Hello, Freddie. I hope you guys are having a good day or evening.
I think that's Tracy from Canada.
Trey,
I think that's Tracy
it's
from
evening
Canada.
there. You guys are doing a great job. Thank you so much. Are you from Canada?
It is I.
Do you comply? Do not comply. National strike. Tommy has joined Ben Habib and Hardcock's called Advance UK, not Rupert Lowe. I'm a bit behind on the live, but it's Ben Habib and Advance UK. Tommy's back, not Rupert Lowe. Sorry, yes, sorry. Is it Ben Habib? And Advance UK, Tommy's back and not Rupert Lowe. Jeez, oh, community protection. England has. See, welcome anytime. Our group is mostly women. The more the merrier. Davy Wilson, I'm good, mate. How are you? Is that
We've flown down.
Huggy? Great work, guys. Thank you. I belled you through the week about coming over. Yes, John, no problem, mate. Good luck from County Durham. Really proud of you, Nornell, lads and lassies. Yeah, I'm fucking not as proud as I am, to be honest with you. You know, it is like it is really good to see so many people on the same page from both sides, both religions. You know, and it's really good to go to demos and know, like I know because we speak, we talk to each other, and it's the same faces, and you know we know who's Protestants, we know who's Catholics, and I always make sure to go up and see any Catholics that I know who don't, that have said like, I'm a Catholic and I support you. I'm like, come here, hug, you know what I mean? And I always do that, and it's always good because it's just something different, you know. You know, Protestants and Catholics hugging, you know what I mean? You got to understand where we have been in this country. You know, like I say, I never met a Catholic until I was about 18-year-old, throwing stones and stuff at each other over roads and maybe fighting in parks and stuff like that, but not actually sitting down and talking to a Catholic. Yeah, mental. And it'll be the same for them. People like Holy Land, Short Strand, Markets, Falls, Divis, Andy Town, Ardoyne, you know what I mean? They'd be the same situation. Most of them wouldn't have met a Protestant until they were hitting adulthood, you know what I mean? 18, 19, 20. Ben Habib has a Pakistani father and a white English mother. Never has been a practicing Muslim. Yeah, I've got no problems with Ben Habib at all. Like, you know, I just doesn't make any sense. Nothing makes any sense to me. You know what I mean? I don't know why there's two parties and you got UKIP, you got Britain First. That just doesn't make any sense. Just come together, guys. You know what I mean? Love to be out in patrol. Hoping there will be one coming soon. Where are you from? Nobody. Pullglass, yep, Pullglass. I never met a Catholic until I joined the army, age 16. Yeah, you know, it's common thread. You know, a lot of people just can't get their heads around it. You know what I mean? Obviously, when we are in the town or you're out shopping and all that, there'd be Catholics about. You know what I mean? But you know, it's just the way it was. You know what I mean? I'm sure there was even a Protestant side of the town and a Catholic side of the town at one time. You know what I mean? You just didn't venture anywhere near Castle Court or anywhere like that. You see, looking at.
Big bad dog. Are there patrols in Lisburn?
I'm not sure. I am not sure, guys. But anybody can start it up. Anybody can do it. It's like a walking group. Good evening, James. Sorry I didn't have me on the phone. Couldn't send a thingy to your ex, but I know you've got. I know you. Hopefully, we'd have got notifications. Good to see you, bro. I did answer. Trey, what was it?
Oh, I know it is. Sean Tracy from Canada.
Tracy from Canada. He doesn't shut up about you. City Flower. Hello, bud. How you doing, mate? Meet them every day. Had to fight my home after school. Yeah, we've had our battles. So we have had our battles, guys. Nearest Catholic area to east was Short Strand. Wouldn't dare walk through it or pass it or walk to town. I know, walking better believe it. And I got caught twice by them on that bridge. And one of the times they were trying to throw me into the lagoon, right? And do you know you got the wee hingies? This is how young I was because it was only wee small holes, like a wee flower. and I managed to get my arm in, right? Because I was terrified. My mum used to always tell me, if you go in the lagoon, you don't come back up because of all the rubbish that's in it, you know what I mean? And I was terrified, and they beat me and beat me. They were jumping on my arm, and then another time was this exact same bit. 5, 6 of them came over and they're like, "Where you from?" I'm like, "On my road." You know what I mean? I was talking, I was from East, Woodstock Road, and I was like, "On my road," and you know, fucking, I know all the streets and all that. We know, no stupid. I even knew the Hail Mary at that stage. That even yeah. Did you learn it? Yeah, yeah. We learned the Hail Mary, guys. I'm fucking telling you, it's like, and but they never asked me that one. They asked me what street, and my mind went blank, you know, and it was just. I was just it. Okay. Next thing I know, the last thing I remember when I was going out of unconsciousness was a car stopping on the bridge, and I remember seeing a guy's foot going to the road, and then I was out cold, you know. So.
Well, things are changing. They're hanging Palestine flags now.
Yeah, I know.
It's good saying things are changing. Jay Noble.
Freedomdad, did you and Lindsay parted? She's wised up. That's good, okay. I don't know what that means. No, we're not. No, I don't part with nobody. I'm friends with everybody. I'm here. I'm everywhere. You know what I mean? You know, I'm not falling out with Lindsay, and I wouldn't like to think she's falling out with me. You know, she's a speaker. I'm a citizen journalist.
We made him. We made him.
What was that, John?
Says they made me walk through it with a Rangers top on the 12th day.
So we did. So we did. Yeah. Yeah, we were on the 12th day. We were heading into town for the return parade, and we walked right by the short strand. You know what I mean? Again, I was nervous. You know what I mean? But there was a squad, is like, you know what I mean?
Did you not enjoy yourself, John?
Yeah, he did enjoy himself. He did enjoy himself. BMB. Timed out. Bad boy. What you been up to? You trolling? They prefer the places segregated. It's easier to patrol. That's why most estates have one way in and out. Drunk? Well, I probably, Davey. JC is in deny everything. JC is in deny everything. Freddie, should I be jealous? No, what have I started, eh? What have I started? I'm a 200%er, 100% prod on Dad's side, 100% Catholic on my ma's side. One of my great granny's family came from the short strand. Been slobbering, okay, Debs. Goodbye then for, you know. No place on here for slobbers, guys.
When's the next protest?
What's that?
When's the next protest?
I can't think top of my head.
Saturday, is it?
There's one on Saturday and there's one on Thursday. I'll be going to one on Thursday in the Show Road, and be supporting them there and bringing awareness.
What? Oh fuck!
What's that, mate?
Well, somebody saying Galloway was. Yeah, your boy got fucking turned out was insulting your daughter.
Oh, that's never good. Picking on a wee baby says a lot, doesn't it? Says a lot. I learned the sash to visit Gran in Monkstown. See, we both thought we were all thinking on the same page. You know what I mean? Yeah, but there's nuts in it. Like, that's what we did. We learned like the Hail Mary, and the Catholics would be learning the sash, because when you're young, I'm talking about teenagers, 13, 14, 15, maybe even younger, you know what I mean? Well, I was running about with the Woodstock tartan when I was 11 years old, maybe a bit younger. And so, but I was wild, as you know. I was in children's homes and they couldn't keep me in the place. I was out every night and spending all my time in the bonfire, and just fucking police constantly hunting me, and then normally just give up because, you know, they knew I wasn't really missing, you know what I mean? They would see me floating about here and there, and but it was nuts that we would actually, like, it was so simple, you know, what religion are you? I'm a Catholic. say the Hail Mary, not a problem. There you go, boys. See you later. You know. You got a wee bit down the road. No surrender. No, here you go. But yeah, fun and games. I'll take chat to the toilet with me next time.
Too much information.
Too much info. Yeah, we did, John Connor. Some horror. It was bad. You know what I mean? It was a fucking hatred like no other, man. You know, I don't think people realise that how much hatred there was between us. You know what I mean? Especially if you were getting beat. You know, if you were getting fucking terrible beatings and getting caught by them, then you were given terrible beatings back. It was just in your nature. You would, you know, like we were as bad as each other. You know what I mean? Some really horrible situations, and you know, jumping guys on their own and everything. You know what I mean? And like just the violence. You know what I mean? And you're like, whoa. You know, and you know, as you see with Glenn Kane, Mr. Axe. You know, he get done for manslaughter at an intersection. You know, and that's how violent it was. You know, I'm surprised more. I mean, situations I've been in, I'm thinking, are they alive? Is that person still alive? You know what I mean? But it was just the anger and the hatefulness was on another level. It really was, and it was fed by each other. There's no two ways. You know, it was fed by each other, and you know, the peace walls and the divides and you know not mixing with each other made it even worse. You know what I mean? Because you would have older ones, you know, saying, you know, like when I was a wee boy, I used to tell like, the story in the street was that Roman Catholics were devil worshippers. You know what I mean? And we really believed that. You know, and
Giant's Ring and all that there. You
what?
used to go up Giant's Ring. They used to tell you that the fucking devil worshippers were all up there.
Yeah. And there's one in Elmo Park as well. That was another place where they got me in the Elmo Park. Fucking, what is that wee man's name? Neil something. Neil something. It was some guy Neil I was with. Fucking so many years ago. We were just kids, you know what I mean? I think we were about 13, 14. And we were like in the Elmo Park. So one end of the Elmo Park's Catholic, and the other end there. So you got the Elmo Road side and you got the Ravenhill Road side with East Belfast, South Belfast, big park. So in the middle of snowman's land, you know what I mean? And, you know, why? Don't know. But we were in about close to the no man's land, and just sitting, nice day, me and a mate and two girlfriends, and I was sitting with my arms back. You know, when you sit and you're just sitting like that and you got your arms back, and my wee mate jumped up and he was gone like a greyhound. Not a word out of him, just up and gone. So this is all happening in split seconds, you know what I mean? So I'm looking at that confused, then I'm thinking it's funny, and then hurley bat right across the arm. You know, yeah, I have to say, like, it was a close call. And fair play to them, they never beat the girls, you know what I mean? You know, they only went after me.
Now you've been tricked into thinking musicians are satanic. You've not learned much.
We were very young. We were kids.
Looks like protesting outside the Britannia is now officially breaking the law. Fuck.
Now you've been tricked into thinking musicians are satanic.
No.
You've not learnt much. Yeah, it's not about learning. It's like when you look at some of these people, what do you call it? Is that itsy bitsy? Is it an itsy bitsy hair with all the frizzy hair?
I don't know.
Some young singer that's came up out of nowhere. You got to ask yourself, she's wearing a cross upside down, doing the devil signs. How did she just become so famous overnight? You know, you got to ask yourself some questions. Why do these performers push so much Satan and stuff like that? You know what I mean? Have they crossed a line? You know, and prayed to Satan for fame? You know, did they? You know, I would never ever even think that. You know, I'd rather have nothing and go to heaven than have everything and end up in hell. It's just unbelievable that anybody can think for 1 minute that, you know, you're going to have all these all this luxury in life. You're so famous, so much money, anything you want, you know, you can afford anything, private jets, fucking boats, whatever. You know what I mean? Anybody that thinks that getting that by praying to the devil and getting all that. If you think there's anything good after you die, then you must be nuts. You must be nuts. Ice Spice, thank you. First time in chat, Freddie, go easy on me. Aye, Freddie. Freddie will look after you. Look at Ireland's Eurovision entry last year.
Oh dear.
What?
Maybe that one.
What was it?
Do you remember the fucking weirdo?
I don't watch Eurovision. It's meant to be Euro, and like there's countries in there that in Euro. The right to protest is protected under the Constitution. Yeah, I think the problem is because it's the Canary Wharf, and isn't it the Canary Wharf we're talking about, our hotel?
Britannia.
And Britannia, and I think, to be honest with you guys, there's a lot of diplomatic, like embassies and stuff like that around there, and there's probably other security stuff around there that they can probably use to say this isn't the place to protest. If you want to protest up there, or protest here. That's the only way I can see them saying that they can't protest. Laura, no, Freddie is already occupied today. Oh dear, dear, dear. He's a bit of a woman's man, our Fred, like he really is. Can't keep up with him. I really can't. Different girl every night.
Fuck off.
Sick, man. It's like a swinging door, man. It's a revolving door.
Fuck off.
Britannia Hotel, is that still in London? Yeah, I think, yeah. Harassment, alarm and distress is what the police are using. So they're out the window phoning, like filming, laughing and throwing cans of Pepsi down at people. And they're the one in distress. That's not going to carry very long. Like somebody has to speak up about all this, you know what I mean? Somebody needs to challenge it as well, you know what I mean, legally. 100% trying to get rid of our human rights. Human rights for us, but not everybody else, You hear some of them cases that's going through the Supreme Court where the government has filed for a deportation order and then they appeal it and it goes to the Supreme Court, and you want to hear some of the excuses coming out why the judges are saying, no, you can't deport this man. You know what I mean? They don't sell Mars bars in Iraq. So maybe not that bad, but it is bad enough. I can't remember all the mad excuses. If you can remember, if anybody knows some of the excuses that's been used by men who's been told to get deported by judges, then they go to the Supreme Court because they're getting all the help they can from all really good lawyers for free. All right, Mark Story. Hi, Freedomdad and Fred. I think they put a section 43 or something on the protest at the hotel. Yeah, well, that can only last for so long, like. Yeah, Foxy lad, yeah, that's just a tactic by the police. That's why we got the microphones and we just put the microphones, and the microphone only picks up Lindsay. It doesn't. You hear a wee bit. You knew there was something else being said, but you couldn't hear it. And yes, the bottom line is, guys, judges are here to protect the elite and not the ordinary man. Get it out of you, Freddie. It wasn't even a violent protest. Well, this is where I'm like sort of on Paz's side a wee bit. And I know some people are debunking this, and I'm not saying they were Antifa. The guys with the masks, they came up with the smoke stuff, you know what I mean? Like straight away I was like, that's Antifa. If I was going to infiltrate something like that, you would have St. George's flags around you, you'd have red, white and blue flowers, you'd be making, you know what I mean, the first thing they started singing, Keir Starmer's a wanker, you know what I mean? So it was like, you know, it was just, you know, when they got to the cordon, they were expecting the police to go like that, and God knows what would have happened, you know what I mean? That was the only, what I say would be violence, and I also would say the violence came from the police, you know, pretty rough-handed with a couple of boys, but yeah, all masked up, and you've got to ask yourself, you know, you've got to ask yourself some serious questions, you know what I mean? Was it maybe that that's brought the Section 43 out, you know what I mean? I don't want to call these boys anything that they're not, but I just think there's something strange going on. But let it be a lesson to everybody else. You know, don't be proud of who you are. You don't need to mask up. Okay? You don't need to mask up. Not at a peaceful demonstration. You know, if you're in the middle of a riot, that's totally different. You know what I mean? If I'm jumping about with my camera, you know, it is what it is. You know, not only that, but the police have got cameras, they've all got body-worn cameras, and we see with all the protests in England how quickly they run around and arrest everybody and how long people get, you know, for some of the most ridiculous things, you know what I mean? You know, just throwing a cone onto the road and just being there and fiddling it in some cases. So yeah, the point I'm trying to make is nobody should be masked up. You know, it's the only way you can prevent the police or the far left infiltrating and causing problems. Because I've seen it happen, guys. They go in and they will. So what I've seen with my own eyes and experience and spoke to other patriots over the last 15 years of the tactics. One of the first tactics that the left used was working with the media. Okay, so they would go in pretending to be patriots, masked up so nobody knows who they are. They would look for vulnerable right wingers or guys that are drunk or guys that are a bit loudy or, you know what I mean? And they generate towards them and then they start triggering them. You know, look at that cop, or, you know, shouting at the cop, and the guy starts shouting with him. Next thing they're shaking the hingy, and maybe something gets thrown in, you know what I mean? And that's the images. You know, the paper, whoever they're working for will be there because if they work in unison, and then they'll be clicking away or getting the footage, and then on the news can then go with far right thugs throw hurls abuse at police. You know what I mean? And that would have never happened if these men hadn't come in. And that's a tactic that's been used. Everybody knows it, and this is why Tommy Robinson is so adamant about no masks. And it's very serious. You know, no masks. You know, it's the only way we can protect ourselves. You know what I mean?
Are Catholics more likely to join protests at City Hall?
Yeah, I do watch Billy Moore, Demo.
Are Catholics more likely to join protests at City Hall rather than certain areas?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like baseball, idiot.
Yes. That was one, Debbie. One excuse was the man's son liked chicken nuggets and he couldn't get them in his homeland. "2030, I have heard that, but I have heard that a lot in life, you know. And each date is nothing happens. Nothing happens that we can see. Face up, you're right, Freedomdad. Yeah, definitely.
Jay Cahill, all the laws, but like I was saying, remember about the laws
Yeah.
brought in for terrorists?
Yeah. Oh, only stopping deliveries in Canary Wharf. Ordinary protesters can still protest lawfully. Yeah, I seen that. So I did. But yeah. So what was I going to say there?
Somebody said
I'm off taxi duty again. Okay, wee bit bunkers. Have a good night. Stay safe on the road. Take your taxi and the family. The Labour Party and governors because they had 23% of the electoral vote. Total criminality. Yeah, remarkable high Labour have got in, you know, and it is down to our fault. It's none of his vote, you know. 40-50% don't vote. That's nuts. You know, and one of the problems is because the electoral roll, nobody wants on the electoral roll because then you get all the debt letters in. Straight it. The working class areas, man, they were like, "Were you voting?" No, I need to go on the voters list. Can't do that. You know, but so what we're trying, we're just trying to change everything. We're trying. The thing about the protest, this is important. I want to get out as well, guys. Um, with they're not covering the faces, okay? So this is important, you know. We never want anybody masked up at our events, right? But we also understand that a lot of people cannot show their faces because of where they work. And one of my biggest things, along with some other big things, but one of my biggest goals is to change the rhetoric of what the government have done by calling everybody far right and racist. This is why I always ask people, are you far right and racist? You know, and why are you here and talk about stuff like that and try and bring people at the protest to show other people in Northern Ireland that, you know, look, they're not far right. You can tell that these people aren't far right or racist, you know what I mean? They're concerned parents. And hopefully, eventually, the rhetoric will totally change. And instead of people worrying about their bosses, like knowing that what they're doing, you know, one day their bosses will be proud that their workers are spending a bit of time when they're off to do this kind of thing because the people, the bosses will have children as well. And we're just, everybody's catching up right now. You know, people don't realise everything's been kept quiet in Northern Ireland about England. A lot of people still don't really know about the grooming gangs, how brutal it was, how the level of torture and violence that these girls suffered is never been heard of ever in my life anywhere. And we've had some bad gins. We've had some our own bad predators out there. You know what I mean? That done some horrific things like Fred West and Rose and you know, who else? That guy that killed them them kids with the Manchester tops. So we have had things like bad people, you know, and they're few and far between. You know what I mean? But you know, people are starting to realize it's not just it's understanding. It's understanding why people like me do what I do. It's understanding why people stand in there because they know things that other people don't. You know, um, I'm not gonna do this and put myself in danger and all the rest of it if I didn't know what I knew and I wasn't so sure and true. You know, simple as that. You know, there's no messing about. These are violent men. These are violent men who look at us as kafar. They look at our children as kafar, and you know these people follow the Quran to the letter. They're expected to treat us like this. You know, we're nothing more than animals to some of these men, and that's came out in the transcripts in the court. Um, high racially motivated. You know, the words that was used. You know what they did to some of the girls. You know, relating to Islam. Um, Islam was quoted quite a lot in the torture of these girls. So it's all there to be researched, you know. Um, yeah, window man, very, very sinister, mate. Police bussing in left wing Antifa to any illegal migrant protests. Very, very sinister. But this is what I mean. They've been doing this for ages, guys. They do it in Belfast. Whenever we have a demo, you know, the left come out and there's thousands of them. And they've all got identical placards. They've got the big, you know, the union banners and all that. And, you know, so as we go forward, we're dealing with all this. We're bringing the awareness. We're looking into these unions. We're paying close attention to the people who are there through photographic evidence and film footage. We're putting names to faces, trying to get an understand of, you know, the speakers who's shouting inhalers, the shouting all the chants. You know, we see the different, what do you call them, different networks coming together that are no friends of the Protestant loyalist community. You know, so it is planned. It is a group of all different types of people coming together that go against us because they see anybody going up against immigration or right wing. So therefore, you're Protestant. You know, so that's the kind of thing we're trying to change everything. We're not just here going, oh, stop the boats and all that. We're really, really doing a lot of work, and we're really. I keep on saying we're clever prods. We really are. Like it's a new breed. It's a new breed, so it is now. It's a different world in Northern Ireland, and you know, we're all individuals. You know what I mean? We're patriots, not paramilitaries. Patriots. You know, and you know, one of the biggest problems with the paramilitaries was we had the UVF, the UDA, UFF, Red Hand Commandos, Protestant Action Force. Forgot anybody?
What is it?
That's about it. You know what I mean? So
I didn't even hear what there was.
no, just all the different paramilitaries that we had in the past.
The fucking loads of them.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
UDA,
UDA, UFF, UVF, YCV, PAF, Red Hand Commandos.
YCV.
Yeah, I said that.
Uh,
That's it. Third Force, mind, they were right for a while in Paisley, but they mind. But yeah, so what you got to understand, that's who we were, right? All these different organisations, half of them didn't get on with each other. Quite a lot of feuds where there was people on getting unalive by each other. Protestants that lived in same areas, that knew each other's kids, went to school with, were unaliving each other. You know, like not just the once. There was a couple of feuds. You know what I mean? So there was we've even the Protestant community's been divided, but that's gone now. We don't have that with patriots. You know what I mean? This is the thing. There's none of that anymore. Patriots are patriots, and it's not just like just all prods. It's actually prods and Catholics. So can you imagine how big and how strong that actually is compared to what we've been like? Even in the Catholic communities where you had the IRA, the INLA, the IPLO, the real IRA, the continuity IRA, all fighting with each other. You know, you had the DADD, were the anti-drugs. I think they took out quite a lot, didn't they, of their own community? You know what I mean? So it's the exact same, especially after the ceasefires. You know what I mean? These guys on both sides have been battling for years and years, and then all of a sudden everybody says, "Right, that's it, complete cessation of all violence. You're not allowed to pick a gun up anymore." You know what I mean? Against each other. So each other just started fighting within each other, and that's what happened. You know, Orange Volunteers. It's an old one, man. Brickmaster says hello, Fred. Is that a car pulling in me? See if a car just pulled in there. I seen the window light up. There's me thinking you followed the Glens. I'm from South Belfast. You know what I mean? I'm from the village. You know what I mean? How many village men do you know support the Glens? I used to get lifted over when I was a wee boy in the Windsor Park to watch Linfield. No, they've been up and down. So they have. They've been up and down.
Just keeping vigilant.
Just keeping vigilant, yeah. Keeping a wee eye on us. 12-year-old grapes in Newton by 2 Afghans. Council tried to hide it for 10 days. Unbelievable. See it flashing?
I've seen that there. I actually did see that there. And I wasn't even looking. Watch the car come down. Let's just come through the Bible.
Everyone ready for the storm tomorrow. Stay safe. Evening Freedom Dad from Molly. We've all been misled. Correct. Love the accent. Just can't always understand every word. LOL. I have on closed captioning. Yeah, that is a problem. Yes, that is a problem. You know. And I am not broad. I lost my accent between doing time in England and doing time in Scotland. Like I had to slow down. I had to really slow down. I can remember when I was in England when I got the 6. I can remember when I first went in. I was in Glenparva, and I went to the school and I said to him, I was wanting a letter. You know what I mean? I hadn't had a letter. I was wanting to know when the mail came, so because I was expecting letters, and I went up to him. I goes, when do the letters? When do the letters? And because it comes across ladders. When we say letters, it comes across like ladders, like proper broad Belfast. And he was like, "Oh, you're not allowed ladders." And I like, "No meal." He goes, "You get your meal. You get your meal at 5:30." Fucking good. You know, it's one of them ones, man. You fucking take the piss out of me here, like, you know what I mean? But yeah, so you learn to slow. I had to slow right down. And so people understood me because I was just sick to repeat myself. And then you notice like people like, what's that? And you say it again and there's still no clue. And eventually they just go, oh yeah. And you're like, what do you mean, oh yeah? That wasn't an ah yeah answer. You know what I mean? You weren't meant to give an ah yeah answer. So you started to think, well, they don't understand a word I'm saying. And they're just being polite. You know what I mean? So, and it's even worse when you shout. So when you're shouting out windows and having a laugh, a lot of people couldn't understand you. Night, everyone. Keep the faith. Cheers, Demo. You take care, mate. Have a good night. Outlaw. You just read that eye. I just read that eye. Don't worry about the accent. I've lived here almost 15 years and still don't understand it. Glen Parva, LOL, been there, done that. Yeah, I done that, man. Yeah, I've done that when I was 18 years old. 6 years I got. Make no mistake, Sharia will see a huge loss in votes about a Sinn Féin meeting in Carrickfergus, but arguments going on about the Roma gypsies in town causing trouble. It's not Windows, it's Wendy's. I know.
Jimmy Young.
I'm blown away. We are getting 85 when it's mental. I'm expecting trees falling down and tremendous damage. Outlaw was there too. It was the biggest, it was the big, it was then, it was the biggest remand for young offenders in the whole of Europe. So it was Glen Parva. These folks are all nuts. Yeah, that's the general consensus with my community, like, you know what I mean? No offense, guys, you know what I mean? But we are all nuts.
Day by day.
Day by day, one day at a time, guys. One day might be a wee bit more nuts than the other, and the other days might be a wee bit less nuts than the other. But at least we're interesting. There was a Scottish guy in my first job in America, and we could be having a chat, and Bobby could understand us, LOL. Now, I took the missus to England, and they couldn't understand her either. But then again, I still don't. I'm an East Ender. I can't understand Donegal wife, son, when they talk. Oh dear. Selective here when it comes to your wife, I think, mate. Cheers, Big Biz Bun. 105 likes, that's brilliant. You know what I mean? Thank you so much. Glad you're not from Ballymena. Yeah, well, Ballymena is another accent altogether.
Ballymena, hey.
Ballymena, hey. I'd rather be nuts in the same company than alone and sad. Definitely. Definitely.
100%.
You know, what is nuts? You know what I mean? At the end of the day. So somebody with attitude, somebody...
One man's crazy, another man's walking the park, you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, how can you be seeing the living, the walk, what we walk, the walk in our shoes? Any of us here, laddies have been in Glen Parva, laddies suffering mental health, laddies have lost people you love. You know, how can you go through life and hit your 50s and be sane? Especially what we're dealing with, how England's turning out, what the King's doing, how the King's behaving, what's happening to your Parliament. You know, who in the world can be sane in this day and age? You know what I mean? Just with what's going on around us.
Fair enough. It's a big shopping centre in Ballymena, hey.
Do you want to let the dogs in? We'll take it as it comes here. Is anyone going to see the... No, Britain Master. I couldn't put myself through that. Right, calm down, guys. Calm down. I know, I see. Calm down. That advert was embarrassing. That advert was embarrassing, Fred. But you were out there playing. You don't come in here to play. All right, okay. Yeah, for those on Facebook, I am Freedomdad FD. Right, you two. Enough. Down. Get up here beside me. Get up in here. Stay here. Yeah, I know. I love you too. I love you too. I know. Right, stay where you are. Leave her alone. You're just brilliant. Oh, here comes boy. Sorry, guys. Just walking down. Right, no, you stay there. Just walking down my bloody local streets drives me nuts to see what's happening to my country. I know, I love you too, son. You sound like a walker. You sound like somebody that's walking dead. Right, you two, enough! Enough now! Get on the scent as a Cookstown sizzle. Oh, is that the advert you're talking about? Is it? Ding dong, Denny. Remember that one? Yeah. They really want that advert did make you want to go and get sausages and cook them. You know, that was one advert that definitely worked. Do you ever remember the advert? Was it, what's that song? Remember the one where they go through the guy's door and is it like back in the day? Cats in the Cradle. Do you ever remember anybody from?
Confidential telephone number.
Yeah. It's not funny because it was horrific, you know what I mean? And it was the Cats in the Cradle song, and it was about two men starting their day, and one man was going to unalive the other man because of the troubles. It was like Northern Ireland, and they were trying to show you like how the bad side of it, what it really was, and see the woman answering the door and them barging in, shooting the man, and kids screaming, and oh, okay, hell, like it was horrific. And this was an advert, you know, confidential hotline, you know what I mean? Came up after it. If you had any information, phone the police. And oh, that was a hard hitter. You could think we'd ever find that. I think that would be on YouTube.
No, it's on YouTube.
It is on YouTube.
I posted it loads of times on Facebook.
Stop that! Leave her alone. What's it called?
Confidential telephone number. Just a fucking confidential telephone number for the
Advert. Confidential telephone number advert. Maybe put in NI Northern Ireland, and you'll get it. Watch it. You'll be like, whoa, you know. And it's a song, you know. Yes, you're right, Gary. There was 4 or 5 versions of that.
There was.
Yeah, that's right. There was. Aye. The UDR advert. Why can't use cats and terrorists?
There was the one in the fucking one there, in the tar block.
Oh, the tar block.
In the stairway.
Oh, fuck! I right enough.
Fucking
Horrific, wasn't it? I mean, my memory of these. Oh, everybody was like, whoa, you know. You'd be watching like No, I don't even know if EastEnders was about then. No, it would have been. But you'd be watching something like EastEnders, and then the adverts would come on, and there'd be an advert for like ice cream, and then an advert for bread, and then the next thing, boom, you know, and you're like, whoa, you know what I mean? Yeah, you're going to be able to have nightmares, and you're putting barricading your door and all, so you are before you go to bed. Yeah, it was that bad. Like, it really did make you think about your security. Cat Stevens sang it, Freedomdad. I love his version. There it's there. Fred's put it up, guys. If you just want to click that link and bookmark it, or if you just want to go and watch it, you know what I mean? I'm going to be here for another wee bit, you know what I mean? If Fred makes me another coffee. Well, no, Fred never made me a coffee, did he, guys?
Oh, fucking don't start.
I had to make my own coffee.
I couldn't find a cup.
I found a cup. I mean, first time he's a guest, second time he's a pest. You know what I mean?
Oh, fuck,
he knows what the cups
Come on,
are.
I made 2 cups of tea and I was doing it all myself.
I know, but yeah, you done all right, but.
Hi, that was only because you didn't want tea.
Good night, Alan. Honestly, these two here next to me, just biting the face of each other. James, I will be honest, you know, because there's no point not being honest, because people would just be people around me would be like, what? You know, I don't take the blame for nothing. I really don't. You know what I mean? I'll blame everybody else but me. You know, and not in a bad way, obviously. Just like, you know, silly stuff. You know what I mean? If I can get away with blame somebody else, I'm blaming somebody else. No problem, James. J Noble.
Did you say they were going?
Coffee, mate, please. Milk in first. Jim. I noticed. Come here, you. Look. Stop it. You gonna stop it? Huh? What? Calm down. Calm down. Calm down. Calm down. Right, no more fighting. Come here, you. Don't talk to them, mate. Pug porn. Oh, wee boy, there's 37 pups. Boy was a stud. 3 different bitches. Joking, I am a bit of a dog whisperer, like, to be honest with you. I just think dogs are easy to train and stuff like that. These two, she's a pup, you know. Come here, you. Come here. Come here. Come here, girl. She's a pup. This one here, that's a puppy. So she is. Look, you put your hand in their mouth, no problems. Teeth are all blunt. No sharp teeth in any of my dogs because they get bones. So if a wean does come in, or any of the weans that come in and they're playing about with the dogs and the dog gives them a wee nip, it's not going to hurt them. Are they all girls? No, this is a boy. This is a stud. This is my 14-year-old stud. He's given me 37 puppies in total over about 8 years, I think. 8, 9 years. But he's retired now, so he is. And he's still got his bits. I wouldn't take his bits off him. Not after all that work. But the rest are girls. That's his granddaughter. That's his granddaughter. To be honest with you, my favourite dog, you know, is the Ridgeback, Rhodesian Ridgebacks. But I've had Boy 14. My Ridgeback died when she was 12. You know what I mean? But yeah, from the experience of dogs, and I've had every type of dog you can imagine. I used to run greyhounds when I was younger. The Rhodesian Ridgebacks, there's something different. There's something really different about them. Loyalty, protection, training, awareness, connections with the dog, you know, it's on another level. It's on another level. Yeah, I had a husky, but it didn't get on with Boy, so I ended up rehoming it to an amazing couple that still keep in touch with me. Right. Them dogs, mate, must be one fraud dog and one Catholic dog as they're fighting. They're not fighting, they're playing. It's playing. You'll know if they're fighting because one of them will yelp. And when Tulip, the wee one, really loses her temper, the big one bolts, you know. As soon as you put the camera on them, they stop. Pigs are only fighting when faces get ripped off. Yeah, I call it cheeks. I've always called it. If you ever see two dogs and they're like going for each other, and it's like they're just catching each other's cheeks. It's just a game. It's to try and, that's what I think. That's what I've seen with quite a lot of dogs that like play about like that. They try and get each other's cheeks, and they'll do it for ages and ages. And every now and again, you'll get a wee yelp where one of them catches one, and there's no harm done. Like I say, their teeth are blunt. It's just nipping. It's not piercing any skin. You know what I mean? If they didn't have bones, it'd be a different story. You know what I mean? If they weren't chewing on bones all the time, then especially her teeth would be like pinpricks and.
Fuck's sake.
What happened? Right. Yeah, we can get rid of you. We can get rid of him. Yeah. Yeah, good. And I don't even want him back in. No, I'm not fucking against freedom of speech, but you know, taking the piss out of my moderators like that. Lovely pets around children. Who got sacked there? Somebody who called one of my good friends, James, a slur word because he's a Catholic, which is not getting tolerated in my platform. Don't care who you are. You know, this isn't about that. Never been about that. This is about Protestants and Catholics coming together. And yeah, we're not putting up with that nonsense. We've had that for the last 50 years. It needs to stop now, like. Evening, Willow Ferry. No, the police, yeah. Cheers, Gary. Yeah, it is. It is like, you know what I mean. It's something that's been fucking.
It's been a long man.
It is, but it's still there. You know what I mean. You know, it is still there because it's been set up in a way where it's going to be hard to get rid of. It's in our songs. You know, no Pope of Rome. You know what I mean, and other songs are very anti-Catholic. You know what I mean. That's
Fuck's sake.
kick them out. No, she's going to tell her off. Put her in the cage for 5.
What the fuck?
Put her in the cage for 5.
You in there. Hey,
Move. Go on. Just tell her to get in. She'll go in.
come on. Hey,
Move. Go on.
and.
That's her. Give her time out. But it's like to explain it to people about Northern Ireland and about the Catholic Protestant thing and the hatred and all that and the songs that we sing about each other, that's not really nice. We're at a situation now where it's normally around the 11th and 12th of July. You'll get most of these and some other parades and stuff like that, memorial parades. And there'll be parties afterwards and clubs, and you will hear some very derogatory words used against Catholics. But you know, it's like whenever Rangers and Celtic play in Scotland, it's like I used to speak to a lot of guys and you know a lot of Celtic supporters that were in the Green Brigade, you know, and like I would be like that. It's like, you know, I mean, you're my mate, you know what I mean, and you're in the Green Brigade. You are singing really derogatory songs against Protestants and against, you know, even against Northern Ireland. They support the IRA, they support Palestine, you know what I mean? And, you know, to try and get your head around that, it was like, what they call it is 90-minute bigots. So in that 90 minutes, they're bigots. They hate on each other, both the Boers, the Union Boers and the Green Brigade, Celtic and Rangers. And I suppose that's what it's like here. You know, it's not 90 minutes. It's like fucking 48 hours, the 11th and the 12th, the build-up date, stuff like that. So, you know, it is something that's there. And, you know, it's always going to be there, you know what I mean? I'm not going to sit here and say that anything's going to change and total bigotry and sectarianism is ever going to leave completely. It won't, you know what I mean? Some areas will transition quicker than others and some areas won't, you know what I mean? You know, I'm just lucky to be in areas like that are transitioning, who are trying to be inclusive to Catholics and inviting Catholics to their bonfires and stuff like that. And, you know, as you've seen with Michelle, you know, I mean, I brought an Irish politician, an independent, Michelle Keane, up here, you know what I mean? No problem. Shangle, no problem. Village, no problem, you know. And that's where we're at today, you know. 10, 15, 20 years ago, wouldn't have happened. You wouldn't have dared do that, you know what I mean? On the 11th night, I interviewed 2 Catholics at our bonfire, you know. And yeah, so there is big changes. There is there is positive to all the negative I'm saying, guys, you know what I mean? Catholics are hard work. That's what they say about us. But I'm proud to have a channel. It is definitely know about Protestants and it's know about Catholics. We're just patriots, and I'm so proud of that. You know what I mean? I'm so proud that I have changed hearts and minds. And see, when I was in the army, they called us orange guns. They get called fiends, but when we were needed at the battlefield, we had each other's backs. Yeah, that's I've know all about the army as well. I'm a Teague and I love loyalist songs. Well, I'll be honest with you. I'll be honest with you. I do like a few of the Republican songs. You know what I mean? Being
Oh,
in,
I heard you singing away. man.
yeah,
Heard you
yeah.
singing away.
I know a few of and it's only because of the jail, guys. It really is because I was so young in the jail. You know what I mean? Like 16 in the Crumlin Road. You know what I mean? Like 16 years old. I was like just a kid. You know what I mean? And so we had IRA and so Loyalists and Republicans. It was a paramilitary wing. And it was like loyalist Republican. So you always had an IRA man each side of you, and they always had a loyalist paramilitary each side of them. You know, so there was a. But I have to tell you, it's like it was one of the most amazing times of my life. It really was. I've always said this. I've never all my life I've said this. You know what I mean? You know, it's like my experience at the Crumlin Road prison. Well, you know, one day I'll write a book about it. It was absolutely amazing for a young man to be thrown into that. You know, and when you're 16, you don't have any fear. And I was with my mates. You know what I mean? And it was a good laugh. You know what I mean? But anyway, so can't remember how many nights it was, but there was a few nights a week where we would take turns of singing out the door. And you've got to imagine, you've got to try and let you understand what this was truly like. So you've got to.
So American.
What's that?
He says, "Folks who don't say that, they've just given their Sunday headline."
Yeah, I'm not worrying about that. Like, but yeah, it was like so. It's a Victorian jail. So, like any Victorian jail, if you ever see it when you walk on, you've got the cells going down the side. You've got all the different levels. You've got netting. You've got thin steps going up to each landing, all different ways, gangways going across. It was like that, wide open, big roof. You know what I mean? It was like an echo chamber. It was like an opera. It really was. So there was a gap in the door like that. Every cell had a gap in the door like that. You get a magazine through the door. It was, you know what I mean? It was so the door could open both ways. And honestly, like these guys, these IRA boys would stand at their door and sing the most amazing ballads. And I mean like amazing. And it was the sound and how it echoed, and it was just amazing, absolutely amazing for a young man. Just remember we didn't have TVs, but we were pissing in piss pots. We had a wee tiny radio that took 2 batteries, and you're lucky if you ever had enough power to run the battery. So you'd be lying in your bed, like bored, you and your mate, whatever. Lights would go out at a certain time, or somebody would poke the lights out, and everybody's lights would go out. That's the way it was. You know what I mean? It was the old twist-in bulbs, and a lot of us young ones would put a bit of tin foil under the leg of the chair and pop the lights, because the whole landing would go out and it would drive everybody nuts. You know what I mean? We were just wee fuckers, like, you know what I mean? And yeah, but sitting back in your cell listening, it was just amazing. It wasn't amazing when it was my turn to sing. You know what I mean? I wasn't a great singer back then, like, but we all had to take our turns. We all had to take our turns. Whoa. Freedomdad, have you been back to visit the Crumb? Would be a great wee documentary.
You were talking about that?
Yeah, we were talking about that. I was there with Glenn a couple of weeks ago there. Michelle Keane was there when Michelle Keane took her in to see the Crumb. Yeah. Great video we done last night. Thank you, mate.
It was me on the video, just doing front of the camera. Mate.
Yeah, it was Freddie. Have you found that CD yet, Freedomdad? No. I have tried. You know what I mean? I've done a CD when I was in the jail.
Oh, right.
For charity. Wrote and produced and sang it, along with a couple of mates. The Crumb's open for, yeah.
That's a museum now, sure.
Yeah, but the problem we have right now with the Crumlin Road Jail is we've had people in taking tours to find out what they're saying, and they stop telling people about the Crum once the paramilitaries all started, and they're the most interesting stories. And the reason why they don't tell you the story of what it was like when we were in there and before I was in there is because they don't know how to be fair with it. They don't want to take certain sides. So yeah, all right.
Galway wants to know, have you been asked on the Stephen Nolan show yet?
Yes, I have. Of course, I have. I have had emails from the producers. Hey, behave yourself. Behave yourself. But a timeout doesn't make a world of good. Yeah, obviously I'm not interested in mainstream media. You know, I just, you know, like when
Wade Graham's just heading out on patrols.
Oh, good man, Wade. Stay safe, man. Is Paz in? See Jim.
Aye, yes, he's just come in there, aye.
All right, Paz, mate. How you doing? Good to see you. Good lives, mate. Good lives today. Yeah, very impressed. The media lies. Yeah, well, yeah. Well, this is a guy over here. He's like, I don't know, Paxton over there. I don't know. And he does a lot of stuff, documentary stuff as well. And so I had, as producers have contacted me and that they go on the show. You know what I mean? And obviously we don't work with mainstream media, and that's the thing. And the best about it too, I was listening to a couple of shows that was about me, where they were talking about me, and other people were coming on and arguing the case for and against legal immigration, and he hadn't got a clue. You know what I mean? I would have honestly, they really don't have any knowledge. They really don't understand it. You know, it's nuts. Like, you would think that these are journalists, you know what I mean? And I would have ripped them in the arsehole. There's no two ways about it. I would have embarrassed them. And a lot of my mates were saying, you should have went on that. And I'm just too stubborn. My morals are not going to let me work with mainstream media, ever, never. We are the media. If I want to get interviewed by anybody, I'll be a YouTuber or a TikToker, you know what I mean?
Somebody asked me on the roof.
I was on the roof, yes. Go, okay, but do a Tommy Robinson and record it yourself, start to finish, so when they show their version, you have the truth. They broadcast on your channel. Listen, you're right, yeah, but this is the way I look at it. You know, if he wants to come, if he wants to interview me, like Paz, I've always kept this the same with everything and everyone. If anybody's got a problem with me, they can come on here and debate me live. You know, I'm not the smartest tool in the box, but you know, I'll hold my own. You know what I mean? And if somebody wants to come and educate me or tell me I'm doing something wrong or tell me I'm saying something wrong, then I'd like to know. You know what I mean? And like I say, nobody's took me up in that challenge yet. And why should I go on the Nolan show? You know what I mean? If Nolan wants to speak to me, he can come on my show. You know what I mean? And that's where I am with that. It's not like I don't want to speak to you. If they want to speak to me, come on here and speak to me. You know. Cheers, Paz. Cheers, mate. Do you want to go back in the cage? Tulip, you're going to go out in the cage. I'm putting Tulip's going in the cage for a wee bit. Time out. Time out for Tulip. Yeah, Tulip's in time. Constructive criticism, 110%, like, you know, and we learn, like I learned, we learn all the time from people, like the thing, the Muhammad thing, right? The Muhammad name, you know what I mean? It is a bit of a misconception, you know what I mean? It isn't being put out properly. Yes, Muhammad is the most popular name in England, but that doesn't mean that there's loads and loads of Muslims. All it means is near enough 1 and 2, maybe every Muslim that has a child names one of their child Muhammad. You know what I mean? And that's just what they do. Now, if we were in Ireland back in the 1916 uprising, then you would probably got loads of Conleys. You know what I mean? And you know, you can go back in time, but like the Irish people would call you get Sean, Seamus, you know what I mean? Northern Ireland, Billy, you know what I mean? So it's, if every Protestant started calling their child Billy, Billy would be the most popular name. You get me?
That's what you call my wee lad.
Yeah. You know what I mean? But I wanted to call my wee girl Billy, you know what I mean, with an I, but Katie wouldn't have none of that. But you know, it is a misconception. People think, oh my God, the most popular name in England is Muhammad. Now, people get the feeling that then you're in trouble. Like if everybody, you know what I mean? It's not like that. It's just because they call every single one of their kids Muhammad. It's as simple as that, you know. It's not about population. It's about the use of the name. You know what I mean? Up the billies.
I'll give you a back, mate.
Muhammad walks up. No, I'm not reading any jokes out.
I just wanted to stand out of habit.
I love Portrush, beautiful town. Up the Bush Mills whiskey. Yeah, Portrush is a beautiful wee place. We used to go there. Kelly's was one of the nightclubs we used to go there. Like it was a rave when we were younger. It's the only name they can spell. Yeah. Yeah, Kelly's in the coach, yes, yes. And the Chimney Corner. Tracks was a good club, yeah. Kelly's is a migrant hotspot now. Right. Green Island. Yeah, been to Green Island, so I have. I'm pretty sure I ended up in Green Island from Kelly's nightclub once. Well, some nightclub. It was my first time ever in Green Island. I think I came around the next day and I'm like, where am I? The other side of in Belfast. Palm Bridge was a good night. Yes, Palm Bridge was a good night.
Maybe not. Scroll up every day.
Yeah, yeah. Barred from them all.
I'm getting shirted at the
Circus, there's another blast from the past.
Circus, too.
Yeah. Was it Kilwater?
Kilwater House.
Kilwater House, that was another mental one, man. We walked in there one time, man, there was guys all standing with balaclavas on, man, you know, and you're like, whoa. Yeah, that was a heavy duty wee one, so it was back in the day.
Lady J's got a chance.
Never got her name, no. Kilwater House in Larne.
Right.
Yeah.
Circus. A family, you seem to have Lady J.
She does, eh? Great doc about rave scene, dancing in the old ground. YouTube. Right, you? No, your time out.
Enough dancing after the weekend.
Yeah. Yeah, it's fair to say I like a dance. And my mates like video me and send me the next day. Fucking horrible, like, hate looking at myself when I'm drunk. Remember taking a girl's phone number on a beer mat?
That's a bad one.
Yeah, missed the rave scene, glad I did. Oh, you missed out, man. The Lego store is going to have a grand opening soon in Victoria Square. There you go, Brickmaster. See? There you go.
Don't slag me.
No, that's it. You're in the Lego.
You're slagging me.
No, I'm
You're
not.
slagging me.
I'm not.
You're fucking slagging
No,
me.
you fucking... You're not in all that.
Of course I am.
Right. Well, I'll go with you. We'll go together.
Slagging
Don't want to miss that. The Lego...
Going to Comic-Con.
He's going to Comic-Con. He thinks I'm taking the piss, but I just never met anybody that goes to Comic-Con. It's just all it is, you know what I mean? I'm like, I don't know anybody, I've never met anybody, you know what I mean? And then he told me he got a photograph in the Fred Flintstone car, and I was sort of like, whoa, too much information, Fred.
And then you fucking show you.
I believe you, you don't need to show me a fuck. I believe you, mate.
It's on the computer.
Oh.
There's somebody else on fucking slobber now, is it? John Rankin sorted them out there.
Did they? Aye, good on them. Yeah, aye, Green Island. You never hear much trouble come from Green Island, mate. Stephen Blackwood. Write my number on the paper and rip it out. Hey, old Lady J, she had a wee diary in her ring. Wee black book, did you? Was it a wee black book? What do you think about Stormer, Chief of Staff's? Yeah, I'm going to get a look at that tomorrow properly, so I am. I've had a couple of things sent to me today. Bonnie Rubble.
No, I'm Fred Flintstone.
Queen's University has a Comic-Con event called QCon. It is on a few times a year.
Didn't know about that one.
Nah.
Didn't know about that one.
Knock it off. I'm not like that, so I'm not. Yeah. None of yous are. None of yous had a wee black book. T1000, evening Patriots. Good evening. Good to see you. Much love from across the water. Thank you so much. Yeah, mate, as soon as there is, it's addressed quickly. No, you don't need to ever apologise for a phone call, Terry McDonald. Never ever. You know, if, like I say, I'm Freedomdad on Facebook, and you can send me a message on Messenger. I do get a lot of messages. I get a lot of spam. I get a lot of really attractive women that are fake accounts, probably an Afghanistani man sitting in a cave somewhere, you know what I mean? And I get a lot of spam messages from people trying to tell me that there's something that what is it? It's like a scheme, like a payout scheme. Have you heard about this? It's just, and it's an awful lot. It's an awful lot. Then I've got all the Patriot messages, and you know, some people are just saying, well done. They're not expecting a reply. I was trying to give them a wee heart or say thank you, you know what I mean? And some people are constantly sending me stuff that, you know, but that it's hard to watch everything that gets sent. So it's trying to prioritize things. But I don't mean to be rude if I don't get back to you. You know, just send me another message and your message will go to the top. If you've sent me a message and I haven't replied, it means it's went down to the bottom. You know, I'm not the only one on Facebook, on my Facebook. I have help with my Facebook, somebody very close to me. So like they're dealing with all the message requests and some of the stuff as well. Anything really relevant, I get told about it, but I have it on my phone, and it's because of WhatsApp, TikTok, YouTube, and X. It is a lot. Messenger as well, you know what I mean? So I need a wee bit of help with that. But TikTok, I don't really do TikTok that much, you know what I mean? I've got over 10,000 followers on one TikTok and over nearly 4,000 followers on another TikTok. But my niche is YouTube, and I enjoy YouTube. And there's plenty of other guys out there doing TikToks, and I just want them to grow as well. You know what I mean? No? Who? Oh yeah, aye.
Ulster Bread, Irish Bread.
See what I mean? It's a tricky one, isn't it, man? I can never ever get it right.
Ulster Road, Irish Bread.
Ulster Road, Irish Bread on TikTok. Ulster Road, Irish Bread. If you want to know what's going on in Belfast, if you want to get some stuff that you're not going to get anywhere else, that's where to go. That's whose TikTok to go. I don't even know how to throw a link up to TikTok, but I will be bringing some of his videos to the platform, and then maybe getting a wee interview with him. You just start up a new name. You can't, you know what I mean? Terry, just do it again from a different phone. If you're not planning to make any money from it, you don't need to put your details in. you know?
I call my Labrador Muhammad now, you can't stop eating curry.
TikTok needs educated. It has changed, guys. TikTok has changed, I'll be honest with you. Same as Facebook, same as YouTube, you know what I mean? How long it's going to last for, God only knows.
So my TikTok, it may be easier.
Good on you, Stuart. Yeah, it's all algorithms, yeah, but that... Lover, Freedomdad. A UDA tout. That's, you've got that wrong. You need to go back to the paper and read the paper. It's UVF. You know what I mean?
Who's that? That's that.
That's some header called Honor By. Probably the same guys that started up in the thingy.
Oh, yes.
You know what I mean? We have moved on from that one, mate. You know what I mean?
I'm reporting them.
Yeah, don't do nothing like that.
Oh,
See, I can stop all this by putting in, like my mates say to me, I can stop certain words coming up, you know what I mean? But I don't. It's fucking freedom of speech, you know what I mean? Fucking, you can have your opinion. Obviously, that's just silly, ridiculous stuff, you know what I mean? Yeah, it's just fucking, you know, just a hater, you know what I mean? Like I say, man, it comes onto my platform. I'm everywhere. Come up to my face, you know what I mean? You don't need to fucking hide behind a fake account, you know what I mean? But it tells you everything I need to know about you. It tells everybody, you know what I mean? Like I say. Alright, Panic. Joe 90, Martin McDowell refused to make an account 5 or 6 years ago and still do. Free speech means more. Knobheads can be cancelled. Yeah, we don't like cancelling people, you know what I mean? But obviously, whenever you get people like that, probably had a drink or probably 14 years old. Like I say, they're not like me, where they're prepared to put their face online, put their real name online, you know what I mean? You know, it's just the same rhetoric. You know, I haven't had it in a wee while, but you know, it's my own fault. You know what I mean? The papers don't help it. The papers and the RA and the NLA who keep throwing it up on all their posts and everything doesn't help it now. No, don't cancel people. No, don't cancel people. You know what I mean? I don't know what's happened to him. He probably will get blocked, like.
I see him last.
That's
third
just
account today. It is. It definitely is. Like,
what's that?
somebody saying, see him lad, third account today. Muppet.
Right, fair enough. Just timed out. Yeah, honestly, like, you know what I mean? I do try to, you know, like Super Patcher, you know what I mean? I don't want to keep knocking them off all the time. And like a lot of them, I can deal with it. You know, sometimes I think my mods don't think I can deal with it. If there's a problem, I'll say, get him off. You know what I mean? If it's abusive or, you know what I mean? But, you know, it doesn't even get the facts right. All right, Mrs. You better behave when she comes out of here. Cheers, mate.
Money dog. Big money. Boy, what are you wearing? Like the start for me. What? 2 hours late. Enjoy the yard. Somebody's just come in. Like the start for me. 2 hours late.
Anyways, skin a cat. Yeah, and the crazy thing is, guys, this is the crazy thing about it all, right? You know, I was the one that was victim to a supergrass. I was the one who was victim to somebody that turns Queen's evidence, you know. And I'm not going to call anybody out, you know, but what he's saying is what's happened to me, you know, and that's the truth of it, you know what I mean? That's facts. It's all there. Can be researched, looked at, checked out, you know. Like I say, I was brought from Northern Ireland in 2002 and remanded on a fingerprint that was on the counter of a bank that I knew wasn't mine. And that took me a year on remand in Barlinnie in Scotland just to get rid of the fingerprint by the time I got experts in to look at the fingerprint, because I'm like, I mean, my lawyers are going, listen, is it your fingerprint? Like, you need to tell us, is there any way at all? I'm like, listen to me, it's not my fingerprint, okay? End of story. Impossible, you know. So that was enough for my lawyers to go straight ahead and get the experts in to get a look at this fingerprint, and it turned out it wasn't my fingerprint, but it was enough to get me remanded. I was on remand, got me out of my own country, Northern Ireland, Belfast, took me to Scotland, remanded me on this fingerprint that they'd made up, and then by then they turned one of my co-accused, he turned Queen's evidence, you know. Yeah, and then I used that defence, my defence. Gives a sub mark, LOL. Can I sub him from here?
Don't know.
No. Panic. Will you remember me to do that? Panic, give him a sub.
Panic. Yeah.
Cheers, Philip. Thank you. No, you don't do a year in remand getting set up by a fingerprint. It's not yours if you're working for the fucking police. I think everybody knows that much. Like, and then you get 18 years at the end of it all, and they were wanting to life me off. Fuck's sake, you know what I mean? But it is what it is, guys. It is something that I created. It is my fault. You know, there's no two ways about it. What the papers are saying is what they're reading from the transcripts of my trial and what I used as a defence in a 3-week trial. You know what I mean? That I was fighting for my life. And I never got a unanimous verdict. I got a majority verdict. So it was his word against mine. You know what I mean? And he was saying it. There was 4 of his. There was a Scouser, another Scottish boy, and another Belfast boy, and me, and another Scottish boy who turned Queen's evidence. You know what I mean? And yeah, he put us all away. He stood in that witness box and pointed each one of us out. The rest of my co-accused pled guilty straight away after that, and I took it the whole way. So yeah, it's one of them ones, guys. It broke my heart, to be honest with you, because he was my best friend. Knew him for 10 years, and it broke my heart. It really did. Like, I can't explain to you what it was like, because even to the moment, like, because we've seen the statements that he made against us, right, and then right to the death, whenever it was his turn to give evidence, you were thinking, there's no way, you know what I mean? Then he's came in, stood in the witness box, prosecutions went, there's the man that robbed this bank, or he's like, can you point him out? He robbed this bank, he did, that did. You know, I got found not guilty for 2 banks because I think because I never done them, but one of the bank managers, 2 banks that they say I robbed on my own, I got not guilty for. The only banks I got found guilty for were the banks I had a co-accused with. And I think one of the bank managers pointed my co-accused out as the person that robbed the bank, and I was the only one charged with that bank.
There's somebody else. You're in a disgrace, Freedomdad.
That's all right. That's okay. Let him run for a wee while. Let him run for a wee while. Betrayal is the biggest sin. It is heartbreaking. It really is. Like, you cannot. Even to this day, I can't get my head around it. You know, but it's in the past, and I learned a lot from that experience. And it's doing that sentence probably kept me alive. I do believe it kept me. I trained really hard. I ate well. You know what you did. Yes, he's drunk.
I know what he did.
Did he? What did he do? Tell us. Tell all. Another troll. You're popular tonight, Freedomdad. Yeah, it goes on like that. It goes on like that. There'll probably be something somewhere online somewhere, and with Freedomdad, and they're coming on to check out who Freedomdad is. They see me sitting at the Linfield top. They fucking hate it. You know what I mean? They can't get their head around that. They just see the Linfield top. They see Protestant, and it just drives them mad. You know what I mean? So yeah, fuck them. You say that's just shit storm. The Muzzies are trying to put their fingerprints on the waist, but they can't get the pucker up and kiss my arse while I let go. For fuck's sake, is that the best? Yeah, it is. I think he's talking about, what's her second name? Lindsay.
Oh, fuck, I can't remember.
Wee Lindsay, man.
No, wee Lindsay.
She was speaking at Chimney Corner.
Fuck me, what is her fucking name?
That's all right, Lady J. Just honestly, we try to have a bit of a laugh, and it is a wee bit of entertainment for us. You know what I mean? I don't know what else to say. It's something different. If it goes on too long, and it's like, if I was talking about something serious, then I would be saying the guys just like time them out. But we're just having that. We're just chilling out, and it's always good.
Fucking was like 18 getting a match in the game, man. Gordon McAlone.
Freedomdad, we need to create our own A team. Flatus, I'm fighting these dick ends have probably got turfed out of this big fella of the West and are on here to flap their thumbs. Martin McAloon, Belfast, a vulnerable town. Yes, I actually listened to that the other day. Paddy was in a boat. I'm not reading any jokes. Right, okay, one joke. Paddy was in a boat. The devil tempted him. Anything you throw in the sea, I can fetch. Paddy throws in his Watson, the devil got it. Paddy throws in his ring, the devil got it. Paddy farted and said, catch that. It wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to start out as. Like, always have people who upset the balance. Sorry, but I'm not the type to stay quiet. Nah, fair enough. But we fight our own battles, so we do. Yeah, we fight our own battles. It goes with the territory, guys. You know what I mean? People will be jealous. People just don't like you. They just don't like your face. They don't like the fact that I've been in prison. They hate the fact that people have been I was a bank robber. I've done a lot of time in jail, and people don't understand why would you listen to me? You know, and that's the way I think. That's what I think. What goes on with a lot of my trolls? They just can't get their head. They just can't get their head round it, which is, I suppose, I get it. I suppose a wee bit. You know what I mean?
First message, he off record now.
It's the only time I wear a suit. It's a court. Yeah, past this. Yeah, I know that. I know. But like I say, the way I look at it, guys, is there's men out there, say there's other YouTubers and other TikTokers who have worked all their days and never gotten into trouble with the police, and you know, and they grudge me. They think, who's he? Why does people listen to him? Why has he got 10,000 followers on TikTok? Why has he got 12,000 followers on YouTube? Oh, brilliant! Well, brilliant. We'll get that shout out. But this is what they don't realise, you know what I mean? They don't realise what leads us. Right, go on, wait a second. Right, come down. Never mind. Go on, we see. They don't look any further. They just see that. They don't look into who I was as a kid, what happened to me as a kid, what I've been through, all the experiences that I've had that would have probably put most men down at the end of a battle or at the end of a needle. You know what I mean? That's the bottom line. You know what I mean? Not many people come through what I've been through, without a doubt. You know what I mean? So they don't see none of that, and I don't care. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, you guys know who I am, what I've been through. You know, the whole part of my story is about being strong and letting people know that nothing can stop you if you put your mind to it. No, I've got a loyalist tattoo here that I got many years ago. This says Ulster 1690 LPOW, and I've got a tattoo on my back that says Belfast with a Union Jack. I'm not explaining myself. I'm just trying to let you understand, I think, the psychology behind some of the trolls and how they're so angry. You know what I mean? How they pick stuff up without not listening to me or anybody else around me or anybody else in the movement or the patriotism. You know, that everybody knows the score. They just go with what's in the papers. You know? Nah, I used to, not as much. I don't get the chance to watch anything right now.
No.
Ulster rugby, but I do like rugby. I like is it the rugby league where they've only got so many times, that like 5 or 6 times, and then they've got to pass. I like that. Come here. Calm down. Whoa. Good to see local lads going to court with Mr. X. Well, we've got no choice. You know what I mean? They don't care what anybody says. He is what we would call a high profile, because of the papers and what the papers have done to him and stuff like that. And, you know, they keep calling him a murderer and all the rest of it. He was done for manslaughter, and they make it sound really, really bad. It is bad. Somebody lost their life, you know what I mean? It was in an intersection between a Protestant and Catholic area, and it was fucking 2 groups of men fighting each other, and one man died. And it wasn't, you know, it wasn't just Glenn. There was a lot of people there, you know what I mean? But I think Glenn got the brunt of it and got 8 years, you know what I mean? And he's a good friend of mine, and he's a good lad, you know. He's a really, really good lad, like. And because of what the papers are doing and everything, we need to make sure he's all right, because it's a court date. Everybody knows where he's going to be in a certain time. You know, what do we do? Do we leave him just to fend for himself? No, we don't do that. I have a good sense of humour, and I like people that are close to their family and respect family values. Look at these two. All the size here, man.
There's no fucking point talking.
I know. Think they haven't seen each other all day. Right, enough. So yeah, some on tomorrow, a bit of a busy day tomorrow, so we do. Can't say too much about it right now. But yeah, well, something will be coming tomorrow. If not tomorrow, definitely next day. And it's going to be a bit shocking, I think, guys. Yeah, it's not about, see me, it's, you got to understand, guys, I'm not explaining myself. You got to understand that you guys have been here quite a long time. Some of you not as long as others. Some have been here from the start. And I've always got to remember that there's new people coming on the platform. And, you know, when stuff does come up like that, maybe they don't know anything about it. And they're like, why is he getting called the grass? Why is he getting called an MI5 agent? You know what I mean?
Fuck's sake.
So I have to.
We need that in the head.
Did you get a new mic, Freedomdad? Yes, I've got a mic. I've got a mic. Yeah, I've got a wee mic. I've got the wee cordless mic. I'm using it at the minute. I had 2 of them, but Bobby went kid on and threw it, and held onto the fluffy bit, and the other bit came out, went down the crack of a.
I forgot about that.
Yeah. Went down the crack of a boardwalk, and it meant unscrewing everything, and like a patio, you know what I mean? And it just wasn't worth it. And then it pissed down with rain the next day, so we knew it was going to be ruined. But that's Bobby. That's Bobby for you.
John Rankin, does he never get that?
Sounds like you need Tinder or something, lad. All the best. Did you never get that? Did you never?
The mic.
No, John. No, I never got the mic. Thank you. Crossing. It's adorable. Let them out. Explain yourself to nobody. What you did was in a different time. Only those who were there can understand what went on. Yeah, there's no 2 ways about that.
Oh, there you go. Boy, don't stand down.
Boy, go out and see. So, guys, I wish you luck, Philip.
Crown Hotel was a disgrace.
Yeah, I seen that. I'm the. Tut, tut, tut. Yeah, Sean, that's always one. You know what I mean? it's difficult because most of it is coming from Unionist, Loyalist, Protestant side of Northern Ireland, Belfast, and you know we really need the Catholic side to step up. To be honest with you, and it's difficult for them because it's difficult because of the Palestinian carry on in these areas, and you know it's just really difficult for patriots to come out of these areas. God bless, be safe. Sorry for smoking on camera. I know some of you are trying to stop. I'm trying to stop, but it's been a long day, so it has been a long day, guys. No, we're going to take her out. We're going to take her out after this. Yes, they are. They are. Get off me.
Go forever, boy.
Oh, no. I'm obviously balanced and on the ball. Most are scared to live when we have nothing to lose because everybody dies. Right, Philip, good night, my friend.
Get away.
Milkman, for fuck's sake. Bank holiday.
I swear to God.
Doesn't make any sense, man. Honestly, at least be a good troll. Give us a laugh. Nicotine patches kill the spike protein in. That's yeah. Like, you gotta be careful, man. That's the kind of thing that get you shut down. You know, you can talk about anything, but again, that 15 months of the green never felt better. Yeah, well, it is legalized now, guys, in Britain, so it is. Like I say, we always give out information about that as well. If anybody wants to get medical purpose, I'm not a doctor. This is for entertainment and educational purposes only. Do not take any advice from me. Has any medical, you need to go to a doctor and all the rest of it. But there is companies out there like Curaleaf. What's the other ones? Alternaleaf, WeLeaf, Curaleaf, and you just basically just need to get in touch with them. You get in touch with your doctor. Your doctor, you get 3 months of your medical records. If you've got any aches and pains that you're going for, then you just phone up these guys. It's all done pretty quick, and you know, it works out about €5 a gram. You know, so it's half price. You know, you're paying a €10 a gram on the street, and the government are selling it to you for €5 a gram. So you know, it was only a matter of time before the government's got their sticky fingers into the old drug business. So there you go. Cannabis is now illegal in Britain. Not everybody knows it, but you know. It is what it is. Prescription, correct. And it's very easy to get a prescription. I'm objectively balanced and on the ball. Christianity and feminism is the enemy of man. Well, sort of half agree with you there. Oh, is he in?
Yep.
Are they on the internet, mate? Because I've got AMS. Yes. So what to do is like put in Curaleaf, CURALEAF, leaf, Curaleaf. If you've got any problems, then add me on Facebook and send me a message, and I will hook you up with somebody who is actually getting it, you know, and they'll go through it with you. Big up, yeah. Cheers, PNS and I, Abusing Our Powers. Paul, good to see you on, buddy. I haven't got round to seeing it, but we were out, so we were the night, and getting a wee look at some areas and just keeping an eye on the place, as you do, and out with a wee walk with the
We
mates.
thought we were down to see him.
Oh yeah, we never got down. We never got down. I forgot all about that, mate. I forgot. Listen, everything changed. Everything changes so quick. But I'll get a chat with you about it. I'll let you know what happened and maybe get some feedback off you as well about it. Martin McDonald, thanks, Freedomdad. No problem, mate. Police brutality is getting worse. Brickmaster, Lady J. What have you got there?
Chris Pagan again.
Chris Pagan, aye. Christianity is the enemy of man. Yeah, that was the bit I didn't agree with, to be honest with you. Porterdown Reaction Group. Sent me a wee message there. Get a wee chat with them later. See if everything's alright. Good guys. Porterdown boys. Doing their bit. Foxy lad, night, mate. And we'll catch you at the next demo, bro. Try stay in Scotland and the police don't have body cams. Yeah. Yeah. That needs to change, like. That needs to change. You know, the body cams are there to protect us. But as we've seen with Tommy, it doesn't really matter, does it? That time Tommy got arrested at the rally where they pepper sprayed him in the face. There was fucking 20 cops around him with body-worn cameras on, and every one of them weren't working. You know what I mean? Crazy.
Somebody set off an EMP. Short circuit.
You can't make it up. You cannot make it up. You know what I mean? James, yeah, they split them off as well. I may have someone for you to interview for the MSM has put out more false crap. About who? About who, Paul? Or just, if you don't want to say, just message me, mate. Oh, I'm getting tired, guys. Yeah, exactly. So, you know what I mean? And there doesn't seem to be any recourse or any comeback for them, you know? They do something wrong and they have their body-worn cameras on and the footage disappears. Okay, mate, that'll do. All right, Paul. Yep, talk to me on the phone or the message tomorrow, because I'm going to take the dogs out. I'm absolutely shattered, like. Yeah, I'm going to get an early night tonight. What time is it?
11:05.
Right past 11. I'm talking about an early night. Wow. So yeah, time travels really quick in this world we live in. Sorry, Terry. Yeah, I'm not going to read that out. I'm objectively balanced and on the ball because, you know, we don't have the same views. And that is a wee bit heavy duty for me. Never mind the community. Night, everyone. God bless. Yeah. So I'm going to start wrapping it up, guys. If you want to say good night to each other. Yeah. Thanks. I'm taking a break. I'll take a break when I go to my bed tonight. You know what I mean? Go to sleep and wake up in the morning and be fresh as a daisy. Yeah. It's still young. You know what I mean? It's no like... And like I say, I've had a wee drink every now and again. But, you know, it's not really my cup of tea. I like coffee, you know, I like having my senses about me. I don't like being hungover, I don't like sore heads or nothing like that, so it's just not worth it. Thank you, Lady J. Cheers, Big Bass Boom, you take care of yourself. Brickmaster, Mary. God bless you too, Terry. James, thanks as always, James. Thank you again, John. Good night, all, and God bless. Thank you, Hillbilly John. God bless you too. 2 fuck toys and a night towel.
Fuck it alls.
What the fuck it alls?
Fuck it all.
What's the fuck it all?
Fuck it all.
He's coming round a bit, isn't he? Coming round a bit. Lady J, I love Tommy Moore. He is single and we need to know. I don't think he is single. Coffee instantly dumps magnesium into your body. Sorry, guys. I'm not really keen on coffee. To be honest with you, like, I only... Where did that come from? I only have coffee, like, when I'm doing this and I'm getting tired, and a wee cup of coffee sort of just perks me up a wee bit. Right.
That is what John Reagan.
I'm going to wrap it up, get these dogs out.
What are you on about
2
that,
seconds.
John Reagan?
Right. Get in here. Chico, get in. Fucking half 11 at night. But I'm your guard dog. Right, guys, just going to say good night. Magnesium is good for a proper sleep. I sleep okay, like, you know, I've had times in life when I have struggled with sleep, but, you know, yeah, when you get 6 hours, that's all I need, you know. 5 at a push, 6, 7 is maybe a bit much, you know. I'm one of them ones, if I lie in my bed till fucking 2 o'clock or 12 o'clock and that ever happens, I feel horrible. I think too much sleep can make you feel really, really horrible. That's what I think, like. Yeah, he doesn't sleep. He's a night out. You know. Have a peaceful night, ladies and gents. Our communities coming together. It's a beautiful thing. It is, mate. It is. And it's growing. And there's more communities out there. There's other guys. There's like, you know, Irish born, Ulster bred on TikTok. Another good community. You can get involved with that. We've got PSNI, you've got CJ, all good communities. When they do their stuff, they interact with you. And of course Stevie Baker, Northern Ireland disgruntled one. Again, you know, maybe he doesn't read it as much comments as he should when he's live. It's something he should maybe look into a wee bit more and get people more involved. Okay, mate, I'll get a look at that. I will definitely get a look at that tonight, and then it's good to have a chat with you tomorrow about it. Right, you two. Boy, what's these boys going for her? Hey, boy, calm down. Just come here. Fred, drop the link, please. What link?
I have no idea.
What link, John? Yes, Brickmaster, yes. East Belfast Fruit Bond. Is it? Or is it the... Is it First Division?
First Division, I know.
Fruit Bond, the D. It's the First Division, right? Aye, okay.
It's a fucking eye, right?
Ow.
His page on TikTok.
What?
His page on TikTok.
Yeah, that's Irish board. Let's go. Ow! That was me. You go on to my TikTok, mate, and I'll have shared it. Whoa! Tulip! Sorry, guys.
Big chance.
He's gonna do it. Fucking busy out there tonight, isn't it, mate?
I put up the Facebook one.
Yeah, there's a Facebook one, John. Go on the Facebook one.
I do it now. I just stick it on there. I'll pause me, watch. First Division.
Okay, my boy. So I'm just waiting for you to put this up. Yeah, I've heard about that. The moss getting burnt. There it's her. So that's the guys that are looking after the areas, working at nights, you know.
Follow their TikTok, that's the Facebook page, but follow their TikTok.
Yeah, that's their Facebook page, but I'm quite sure there'll be a link to their TikTok from that, and you'll be able to find it all out anyway. Any problems, send me a message. Yes, it was the first band I ever joined, was Pride of the Raven. many years ago. Many years ago. So yeah, guys, I hope you've all said good night. Still 123 in.
Anyone hear about the Grand Mosque getting burnt out in Barcelona?
Yeah, that was a wee while. Was it last week, wasn't it? A couple of weeks ago. Yeah. So I always hate this bit, guys, because I know you all like the crack and you talk to each other, and half you don't even listen to me. To listen to me, you just talk to each other, which I love. You know what I mean? It's here for that. It's not just about me. It really isn't.
As I actually said, the fucking Lady J, it's a community.
Yeah, it is like, and it's difficult saying cheerio because I'm sort of turning the lights off, right, get your bed sort of thing. But like I say, there is other guys out there doing lives and stuff, and you can go on a TikTok and have a look at some of the stuff on TikTok. You know, if you know British Paz 49, you've got Chris Roder, Dino Bain, you've got Lee British Patriot, you've got Gobster Talks. You've got Richard Inman, and you've got to watch this new video he's put out. It's a documentary, 100 hours work, honestly. He's put a lot of work in this, guys. The link was put up earlier, but if you go to Counter Media and look at the video about Ballymena, the last one he's done, and give it a like, give it a share, put a comment down, get the algorithms moving so more people get to see it.
Counter Media.
Counter Media.
What is it?
You want to put the link up? So he's going to put the link up so you can click that. If you're still awake and you want to watch something on YouTube, click this link.
What one is it?
And if you can't click the link, then just go to Counter Media,
Video?
which is Richard Inman's channel. Not Richard Inman, Counter Media.
What? There's no...
She's way in there, bed.
3 hours long, that one?
Is it 3 hours
No,
long?
that's a month ago. One day. No, it's not on it.
Counter Media?
I'm on Counter Media.
Did you hit videos? Yeah, it gives you it from the start.
Videos.
And then at the first one?
There's 1 day ago. 9 minutes.
No. Maybe it's on its Richard
Oh,
Inman
hang
channel.
on. No. Must be Richard Inman.
Must be Richard Inman, yeah. So Richard Inman, check both of them and subscribe to both of them, you know. Richard Inman and Counter Media, guys. And there's a video there about Ballymena, and it's a documentary. I think it's called The Truth About Ballymena or something like that. Really, really worth a look, guys.
Subscribe.
You know, we use our documentaries from guys
No, it's
that aren't
not
documentary
up.
makers. They're not film producers. You know, Richard is an ex-soldier who served in Northern Ireland. Who's,
Breaking Ballymena.
what?
Breaking Ballymena, the truth about the riots.
Yeah, that's it. And yeah, so you've got to always remember that, you know, it's like, especially Richard, you know, he does this on his own, you know what I mean? There's not a production team. It's no like Martusi, or it's no like Rebel Media, you know, he does this on his own, you know what I mean? Does his own editing, and he goes out, gets all the footage himself, does all the interviews, puts the work in, travelling up and down, Bangor to Ballymena, you know what I mean? It's, again, costs a bit of money. So there it's there, guys. So if you want to click that link, if not, if you can't click the link, then go to Richard Inman, I-N-M-A-N. You should all have him by now. Shankl's Sons of Ulster, very good. Very good band too. Right, guys, so he's got the link. If you want to go and watch that now,
Sunday night before the riots in Ballymena, never released yet.
cheers, Paul. Yeah, get it out. Nothing, yeah, get it out. I've still got stuff to put out, you know, and edit and stuff like that as well, but, you know, no matter what I'm going to do, it's going to get good views. You're going to enjoy it, you know what I mean? I've got the 11th night to cut down into a smaller bit. My big brother was in Pride of the Hill, one of the biggest bands on the road. Yeah. Yeah, remember? Yeah. Some good bands going about now. It's all changed. Like, you don't get no Blood and Thunder anymore, you know what I mean? But yeah, still good bands. Good, a lot of work put into the bands now, and the drumming's amazing. The drumming is amazing. You know, fluters are always amazing, but the drumming, I believe, is picked up immensely. You know, by all the bands now. Used to be one or two really good drum bands, but they're all on the same page now. They've all got different styles, and it's just good to see. It's good to see. But listen, guys, I'm gonna go. Thank you all so much. 95 years. I'm hoping the rest of you have all went and started watching Richards. And always remember to like, subscribe, leave a comment, and give it a wee share. That way, YouTube will recommend the video to maybe 4 or 5 more people. You know what I mean? So with that, guys, as always, thank you all so much for sitting and listening to me for the last 59 minutes. And thank you. As always, I'm humbled. And as always, God bless.